Here we go. Now we're talking. Look out. Stand by. It's 3:03. And here comes trouble, baby. It's only me. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis. Sidekick producer. Sports raconteur extraordinaire. Here we go. Play it. Sing me. It's your Monday. So glad you're with us today, baby. Flounder at the controls. The Spencer Davis Group, here we go, was on this very day, 1965. Spencer Davis Group, The Who, Solomon Burke, Zoot Mooney, wherever the hell that is, Cliff something or other, Marianne Faithfull, The Byrds, Dave Whitting, don't know who that is, some other people had a big festival on this day, 1965, with the Spencer Davis Group. Tickets were like $7. Anyway, now you said Pete, you said Steve Winwood was in Spencer Davis Group. I don't have that listed here. They don't mention that.
I thought he was like 17 when he sang this.
Yes.
Yeah. Was he? Yeah.
He was the singer in the Spencer Davis Group.
He's one of my favorite singers. Steve Winwood and Don Henley are my two guys from the 80s that I only listen to, really, basically. I love them. I love them. What?
Nothing.
What, are you making fun of me again? I don't even know.
They're fine musicians.
I won't tell you.
That Building the Perfect Beast is a great album. I'll give you that. It has your song, Boys of Summer, on it.
Boys of Summer. Don't you know what the night don't you know what the night moves or night means or something?
A month of Sundays, which you can only get on the CD or the cassette.
Valerie
is one of the saddest songs. It's about an old farmer.
I don't know
his
that
way
song.
of life is gone.
What's it called?
It's called A Month of Sundays, and it was supposed to be at the end of Building a Perfect. Oh, it's a really slow, long song.
Well, can we do 10 seconds? I want to know. I want to hear it.
It's just an old farmer whose life is passing by in the family. His wife's gone and everything. He's just lamenting how things have passed.
It's pretty much the same as an old talk show host who got nothing to live for and lost everything and got destroyed and realized
I don't think you should listen to
the last 30 years of my life was a complete waste of disgraceful
kill yourself
misrepresentation of what I thought was a love that would save me. Stuff like that. Sure, it's the same thing. Can we have 8 seconds of that song? Is there a way you can
What's
find
the name of the song?
Here's the name of the song.
A Month of Sundays by Don Henley.
A Month of Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, this will not last long.
Let's bring everybody down.
No, it's Monday. We're doing a talk show and we're talking about stuff. It's not all I'm sick of the Trump and the Biden, so we'll get to it. We'll get to everything. Anyway, so
he's looking for it.
Well, he's looking for that. A couple of birthdays. I had I got a Facebook thing on birthday acknowledgments.
Yes, sir.
Which I guess we all do. And among other over the weekend was Paul Osman. Yeah, here we go. Let's hear it. Yeah. Give me 10 seconds of the singing. All
right.
And
here we go.
Cut. All right.
Yeah. This isn't it. That's not it. That's a bad version of somebody else doing it. That's not it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, we'll keep looking. Is that worth looking or not?
Yeah.
For 10 seconds.
You teased it to the point where everybody wants to know.
Okay.
Now.
Well, again, do we give them the wrong title? We're really taking advantage of Flounder.
Some people do. Like, have you ever heard a Redemption song by Bob Marley? It's him. It's him, a man and a guitar. It's one of the most beautiful songs you'll ever hear. I heard the other day Stevie Wonder did a remake of it with full Phil Spector strings and everything behind it. You just want to shoot everybody involved.
Yeah. Remakes, you got to do some your own style on it.
Horrible.
Anyway, if we can find that.
It's tough to find. I don't know if it's copyrighted but everything I'm looking on YouTube is a cover of it.
Okay.
It's a very hard.
Sorry, folks. I didn't mean to. What's it called? If they want to look it up.
Yeah, it's called A Month of Sundays. It's not on the album. It's on either the cassette or the CD because they had extra room.
By Don Henley. Okay. A couple of birthdays. I mentioned Paul Osman is 66 years old today. Yes, sir.
Okay, Paul Osman.
Can you believe that?
He used to do morning shows with Gurveer Dinza.
Oh, that little hottie from Channel 5.
Yeah, and Hullinger and I used to do the morning show.
Yeah.
And we sometimes did a simulcast with them. And Paul Osman was there at the time where I asked Gurveer Dinza if she was heterosexual.
Oh, God.
And and basically if she was single.
Oh, Lord.
And she started gigging and everything.
Well, that's a good clue right there.
She's a wonderful woman.
Good kisser?
No, I did never.
Oh, for God's sakes, man.
She married the wrong
guy. Right there.
She married the wrong guy from Mississippi. Let's just say it that way.
Anyway, Paul Osman, 66. Paul Osman was the guy when I was doing morning radio here in Atlanta. Earlier in my life, I had worked for, as a TV anchorman, had worked for a guy who then became the general manager of Channel 5. When he came here to Channel 5, he realized I was here, and we had worked together years before, and he said, well, would you like to do weekend weather?
Yeah.
And I said, sure. So I did weekend weather for a year or whatever. So I was basically working 7 days a week with no vacation time for a full solid year, but it was enough money to pay for my daughter's college for a year or whatever, so I did it. Anyway, Paul Osmond was the guy who trained me on doing weather stuff. And weather stuff actually can be complicated. There are ISO bars, and you have to look at maps and get readings and Weather Channel stuff. I mean, you've got maps, and it's pretty complicated. Well, it's science. It's pretty complicated. But anyway, he gave me he taught me the basic simple version of how to put a map together on TV and how to describe it. And it's going
to rain or it's not going to rain.
And I showed the ISO bars and the front's coming in. The basic stuff.
It's going to rain.
Again, I was not a meteorologist. I was a reporter, weather reporter. Okay. All right, so fast forward at some point, months later, and all of a sudden we're getting a huge freaking storm.
Oh, that's not good.
And Ken Cook. Yeah. It was an ice storm. I think it was one of the ice storms or something. It was a horrible thing. So, and again, this is doing weekends, and so I'd get there at like 2 in the afternoon to get ready for the 5 o'clock news, and then come and then do the 10. Anyway, so when I show up on the Saturday, whatever the day was, and Ken Cook is in the Weather Channel section of the newsroom,
the immortal.
And I said, he said, well, there's a big bad storm coming in, and they were kind of thought that I should, back you up or something or other, and be sure, I said, great. I said, I'm all in favor of it. Honestly, God, I don't want to do anything stupid. I love it. I think it's great you're here. If I can, whatever. I said, you want to do it? I'll just sit here and decide whatever you want to do. I was very happy to be part of it. Okay. So he starts saying, okay, well, no, you do it. First of all, why don't you do the Isobar Extra X4277 G2000 machine? I said, I don't know what that is. And he said, you don't know what that is? I said, well, didn't Paul? I said, no, he didn't tell me on that one.
Wait a minute. What? Isn't that the machine Shannon used to always talk about?
Yeah, the Trump making a tornado machine.
Yeah, what was it?
The Spininator 5000.
Yeah, the Spininator 5000. And then he mentions the second one. Well, how about the Defininator 450, where we can get the overlapping of the time machine? I said, I don't know what that is either. He said, well, what did he tell you? What did he teach you? And I said, he taught me to read the map and put the thing on there and da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, that's all I know. It's not my fault. He didn't tell me. How could I not know if he didn't tell me what to do?
Don't wear green.
So he's looking at me like I got one eye and I don't have, enough of pound sand, which of course, according to him, was true. I mean, according to what he knows, I don't, I was a nothing. Anyway, so I think I just told him to do the show. I think I just sat there on the side and said, hell, you better do it because I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll just sit here and get paid.
It was too important. I didn't, and I would have screwed it up.
Hold on a second. This is a nicer version of this story because the last time you told this story, you said he basically pushed you aside and said, I'll do it.
He definitely, that was what it came to. But again, I was, which was fine by me because he started shaking me up. I said, I don't know any of that stuff. I can't do the replay of the overlap of the time chart with my God, man. Anyway, so, and then remember, it was, fast forward many years, we come back to work in 2013.
Yeah.
And we show up. I have a heart attack 5 days after we got back on the air, and then and that was in November, early November. And by Thanksgiving, we went up to the Publix in wherever it was and gave away turkeys and gift bags and stuff like that. And Paul Osmond, and Ken Cook was there as part of the Channel 5 thing, as what we in collaboration with Channel 5. And so, someone, I guess he had heard or someone had said that I'd had a heart attack, and so we got to talking. And he said, you didn't have a heart attack. I said, Ken, I had a heart attack. I was actually, the girl said, you've had a major heart attack. I've got my results. I've had two, what do you call them, bypasses, or what do you call them? Stents. I had two operations in my heart, okay, from the heart attack. He said, no, you may have had a heart episode. I said, my God, man. Well, the reason was I was standing there, and it had only been about 10 days earlier when I had the heart attack, and I got out of the hospital, and I felt great, and I looked okay. I was thinner. I looked a little gray, I think, and thinner, but still, I was walking around, and I just had a major heart attack and 2 operations, all within a period of like 10 days. And he said, well, you didn't have a heart attack. I said, stop denying me my heart attack. Anyway, okay, end of story. Paul Osmond, 66, happy birthday. One more quickie. God, we haven't even started the show yet. I'm already time for my first break. Well, this is the way. How you doing, kid? Good to see you. It's a kid looking at a baseball game today. Mia Sarah. Mia Sara, 56 years old, Ferris Bueller's girlfriend Sloane in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Harley Quinn in the show Birds of Prey. I never saw it. Mia Sara, was she the one on the diving board? And,
Cameron, can you hear me?
No,
Cameron.
she's the one that went around with them.
Yeah, no, I remember her, but wasn't she also? Who was it?
That's Phoebe Cates. You're thinking.
Oh, that's right. But Mia Sara, she was beautiful
face,
stunning. And sweet. I mean, she had her demeanor for that movie was just sweet.
She was the perfect girl.
Oh God,
perfect.
Just wonderful.
Yeah,
you kill for her.
Yes.
In fact, I'll kill for you right now, Mia. 56, you're mine, baby. Pack your stuff. It's over. You don't even need anything. I'll take care of everything. All right, we're giving away Braves tickets.
You killed the whole segment.
I know. I blew it whole. I'm so sorry. Erase everything. We'll start over. 404. We need phone calls. We're giving away Braves tickets, and you're going to have to ask us a tough question.
Bottom
We'll come
of the
up in a
hour.
minute. But all right. But get ready. 404-741-1230. Braves tickets coming up with a Kimmer and Pete and Flounder on Extra 106.3. Here we go. Look out. Look out, it's only me. It's only the camera. Play a little Dylan, sorry. All right. Is this Bob Dylan?
Yep.
Yes, it's from the album that's referenced you're about to talk about.
It's over, but Bob Dylan on this day in 2020, 23 years ago, released his 39th studio album, Rough and Rowdy Ways, the highest charting album on the 2020 chart in more than 10 years, his seventh consecutive decade of charting top 40 albums. And Bob Dylan's the only artist who ever did that. In several decades, seven consecutive decades.
They say he knows every American song. He loves Americana stuff all the way from the 1920s on up. He knows all those songs.
Brilliant historian. I mean, and again, I saw him in 1962 or 3 wearing overalls, barefoot, at the boys' club. In a little town in New England.
And he got his museum now. Where is that? It's in Oklahoma, isn't it? Tulsa or Oklahoma City, somewhere around there. And they asked him, why didn't you put it in New York City or something like that?
Well, he was born in Minnesota. Why didn't you put it there?
He says, I'm from the Midwest, and there's a feel to the Midwest and that part of the country that you don't get on the Eastern Seaboard.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, big band. Anyway, Bob Dylan, cool. One quick birthday, Kathleen Turner. They mentioned here she was in Romancing the Stone, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Friends, and Dumb and Dumber 2. They didn't mention Body Heat.
Body Heat.
That's the one where she was the hottie in Body Heat, and what a sensual and sensuous performance in every possible way.
That was William Hurt and Richard Crenna.
Yeah, unbelievable. What a really well done
remake.
Movie. She is 69 years old today, but they didn't even mention Body Heat. And then when she played in Californication, poor thing.
Did you ever see the first one the Body Heat was made from? Double Indemnity?
Oh, Double Indemnity, with Frederick Curry. Talk like this. Let's go find my 3 sons. Chip, where's Buddy? Who was the old man? Not Buddy. The old man talk like this.
Charlie.
Chip, no, it wasn't Charlie.
His name was Charlie.
Yeah,
Uncle
get
Charlie.
him in.
Not William Demarest, was it?
No. I can't remember. Anyway. All right, by the way, I apologize. I blew the whole first segment of the show. It's gone. It'll never come back. We have actual time. We got millions and millions of things to talk about today, including... Juneteenth, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, let's get to the submarine first. And we'll talk about Juneteenth. We'll talk about Father's Day. We'll talk about they're trying to divide us with more racism charges. NPR says daddies can have babies. They can prove it by a daddy having a baby, even though daddy really is a mommy. Also, movie stuff, new Oscar rules. AMC says don't go to the Andy Tranny thing with me. Casey DeSantis getting blown out again and ripped and stuff. Also giving away Braves tickets. Kurt's been on the line. Okay, I mentioned, we'll do this first. Today we are for this week. I guess this whole week, right? Or until Thursday.
Up until Thursday.
Okay, until Thursday. We're giving away Braves tickets. 2 tickets to go see your Braves.
Special Braves.
Take on the Minnesota Twins June 28th. This is a June 28th in the suite.
Yeah.
In the extra 106.3 Xfinity Club suite. You want to guess? Watch the Braves from the VIP air-conditioned extra suite at Xfinity Club level, Truist Park, and your own coveted extra 106.3 T-shirt. Tug, Los, Rhino, the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder are going to stop by. Now, obviously, we can't stay for the game because we have a show to do, but we'll be there at noonish or 11:30.
We can stay for a little bit. Maybe
we'll be there for an hour or so.
We'll be there until 1 o'clock or so.
So if you win the tickets, we'll say hi and it'll be fun. Now, I mentioned we're going to do a contest, and I think Kurt called... Well, I said, call if you want to get called, stand by. We're not going to do the contest till after the 3:30 break. So, and here's the contest, and we'll talk to Kurt if he wants to go on since he did call. Here's what the contest is going to be. If you can stump us with a phrase from a famous sports, particularly baseball, but a famous sports movie.
Yeah.
And it can't be play ball. I mean, come on. It's got to be,
Well, you want to make it just baseball movies? Yeah, let's do
Let's do
that.
baseball movie. Since it's brave, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It has to be a baseball
a line from a line that you may think you could stump us with if we don't. We have to guess the name of the movie. You don't have to guess the person who said it, but the name of the movie, where it came from. And obviously, it can't be strike three or something stupid. So, and we're gonna have we have Flounder, Pete, and me between the three of us. If you call in and ask us a question, which is so ridiculous, no one in the world, then we're gonna vote no against you. But that's what we'll do at 3:30.
And we'll talk bad about you after we hang
Absolutely,
up.
make fun of you historically and without pride. Now, do you want to see if Kurt wants?
No, we're doing it after the bottom of the
he
hour.
may not want to hold for 12. All right,
Well,
fine. If he wants to hold, he can hold as far as I'm concerned. Okay, fine. Anyway, sorry.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we got it. Let's do a couple things. I know. It's Monday. You don't start at the fifth gear. You go slow and you pick up speed.
I started fifth.
I'm the one dealing with 400 and 285 twice a day.
Oh, let me tell you.
Yeah.
On my commute coming down, the wind in the mountains started pushing me down the hill, and then it's changed to go up the hill, and it started lifting the front of the car up.
Oh, boy.
So I had to deploy the wing in the back to keep it on the road. It literally was trying to take off.
That's not that good. All right, anyway, we got the Juneteenth, we got stuff, and we'll talk about the submarine first. And again, here's our phone number. If you'd like, we encourage phone calls, and I know historically the afternoon show here has not been a show that encourages phone calls because it was more of a lecture series, which is fine, and they do great guys. But we like phone calls, and if you want to call to talk about anything we've said or you've heard or whatever, bring us up to date, something we got wrong, we don't know, what you'd like to hear, what we don't do, whatever. It's a talk show. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Okay, the submarine. Rescue mission's underway. They're using airplanes to look for wreckage on the surface of an area, but off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast, just this morning, a rescue vessel's underway to try to find a small Titanic tourist vision submarine that gets charted and to go look for things like the Titanic damage and stuff like that. It's the name of the vessel is the Ocean Gate vehicle. 5 people on board, 1 crew member, and 4 mission specialists. The vehicle is designed to come to the surface automatically if there is any technical issue. Clearly, that didn't happen. The Ocean Gate people said the thing has disappeared, no sign or sight of it or information from it for about an hour and a half after it took into the water. The Ocean Gate people charge, if you want to take a ride on this submarine to go look at the Titanic mission wreckage, it's the ticket is $250,000. The Titanic sank April 15th, 1912, from England to New York City, hit an iceberg, as you know. The Woods Hole oceanographic people found never-before-seen footage of the wreckage a few months ago, and now this big diving place, Ocean Gate vehicle, is being rented out for historians and scientists, and so whoever can afford it to go see the Titanic wreckage. And now it's under there somewhere, and we don't know where it is or what's going on.
Who would spend all that money to go do something that crazy?
Well, I mean, you mean like flying an airplane over England and the White Cliffs of Dover in a Spitfire from 1941? Yeah, that probably doesn't make any sense, But now, would you go in a submarine under what?
Hell no.
Wasn't it like 12,000 feet underwater or something?
12,000 feet underwater. No.
I don't think so.
I want one of those little dolphin ones you get. It's a single one that you can go in and out of the water.
But you go 80 feet under. You don't go 12,000 feet down in that thing. I mean, now the other thing is, I don't think I'd get on a vessel like that unless it had some kind of a winch or a cable system
attached.
or a something. I mean, and it would seem to me if you were going to do that over the ocean floor that you'd have some kind of, anchor systems or cable things that would just for that one reason. You could, if you had a company that charged $250,000 to take an undersea submarine voyage, it would have to be foolproof.
Yeah.
There's no way you could ever have an accident.
It's like the Virgin space flights up there. They can't afford to one
make
blow
a
up.
mistake.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Was it Moonraker? What was Bond film where the big submarine
the big metal teeth and stuff?
Swallowed the smaller submarine?
Yeah. And they did it in space, too. They ate the thing and they snapped the cable and stuff. And again, now, individual submarines that go down, 50 feet or something, if you have problems, swim to the surface, you'll be okay. Although, have you ever been deep in the water, scuba diving?
No.
Have you've been snorkeling?
Yes,
you snorkeling? I love snorkeling. In fact, I've seen sharks and manta rays. I've actually held manta rays in my hand and stuff, thinking about and snorkeling. But I did once go scuba diving with the final wife and my stepson, and off it was either Key West or Puerto Rico. I don't remember what it was. Key West, I think. It was beautiful coral reefs and it was really beautiful stuff. However, I'll never do it again because my ears can't take it. Are we late for a break already?
No, I was going to say. It's to the point where unless it's very clear water, I'm not interested in going out there with all the shark attacks you're seeing these days.
Yeah. Well, but my ears couldn't take it. I mean, I was in pain the whole time because I just couldn't take the depth of it.
Hanama Bay, on the other side of Oahu, I didn't have my contacts in, so I had to get real close to the coral. And all of a sudden, something came out of the hole and opened its mouth. It was one of those eels.
A moray?
Moray eel.
Moray eel. Oh, my God. They'll eat you.
And it was like this far from my face.
They're going to eat your face. You're a dead man.
I was above the water in a second.
Oh, good night, Irene. 3:30. Hold on, we'll come back. We got stories, we got news, we got sound. Oh, man. You know, I was just thinking, I've been telling you, I've been dealing with the VA situation, which is a freaking nightmare. But anyway, one of the things I realized, I have to go back to a whole bunch of doctors' things now because I can't find some of my documents from 25 years, well, hell, from 50 years ago, and then again from 20 years ago on my cancer treatments from the Marine Corps because I didn't find them to put in my safe. Honestly, you can't just keep documents around in folders like my tax receipts for the last 20 years I've got downstairs in a put them in a safe. And if you don't have a safe, the place to go to make sure your Atlanta Safe House is Atlanta Safe House is to the place called Atlanta Safe House. In fact, I bought a couple of them in the same company. These are great folks. They are incidentally the #1 delivery and installation company, Atlanta Safe House. All the top names, the largest Browning dealer in the whole area. Browning, Fort Knox, American Security. I got one of those. I think I got the American Security for Wayne, no offense, our producer, and I got myself a Browning. They'll come. I had them bolt one safe into my garage concrete floor. Another one bolted into the game room inside the house. I mean, they can do whatever you want. Hide it in a closet, put it in a freaking ceiling if you want. Probably put it in your car. I mean, anything, vault doors, business safes, high security safes, jewelry safes. It's gun safe month. Special deals on gun safes. And again, if you have a family, maybe your wife's a little nervous about you getting a gun because we're all a little nervous about our security and so forth. Get yourself a safe. She'll be happy. The kids are safe. I mean, everything's better with a safe. You may not know you need one until now you do. Atlanta Safe House. Where do you get them? AtlantaSafeHouse.com. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. And 1063. We're going to take your phone calls. Give away Braves tickets. All right, who we got here? Is this U2?
This is U2.
U2. And it was on this day. There's a famous kind of copyright battle going on. And this day in 2016, Digital Millennium Copyright Act was passed. U2, Paul McCartney, Maroon 5, Pearl Jam, Taylor Swift, a bunch of people, 180 people, artists, all of them, signed a letter criticizing Digital Millennium Copyright Act, claiming the law benefits companies exploiting music for their financial enrichment, but not the artists. And this was a big stink. And, of course, Taylor Swift, this was in 2016. And now Taylor Swift is probably the most powerful person in the music industry.
She's changing it because I heard the other day this is the first time in decades there hasn't been a rap album #1 for a long time. So you got to wonder if
that's a good point.
Pop music is taking over from rap now.
Here in Atlanta, 10, 15 years ago, the #1 station was not the local powerhouse. It was
V103.
V103.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, and of course, the whole Al Jazeera constipation is filled with nothing but black stories. So we'll get to that in a minute. Talk about Juneteenth. All right, hold on. Okay. Phone calls. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. We have Kurt, Steve, and Rick. Now, here's the deal. We're giving away Braves tickets for the game on June 28th, which is a Wednesday. You get, you and a person with you get a pair of tickets to see your Braves and the Minnesota Twins, June 28th, a Wednesday, in the Braves Suite. And we'll give you a T-shirt, and we're all talking to Los and Ryan, all the guys are going to be there. We'll be there, say hi, stuff like that. Okay.
Real quick, we need to let the listeners know that it is a early game around 12:30. So just
it starts at 12:30?
Again, around that time, yes.
Oh, my God. Well, we'll be there at 10 then. Oh, no, not sir. We'll get there. No, we can't do that. We'll be there. We'll be there for a while to enjoy the game with you, and then we have to come back and do the show.
That's right.
But, okay. All right. Now, here's the contest. You have to stump us with a well-known baseball movie comment phrase, something.
Line.
It can't be play ball or something stupid. And there's three of us to judge whether you're trying to trick us with something that no one in the world would ever get. Of course they're trying. All right, so to the phones. Kurt was first. Kurt, you've been hanging on for almost an hour and a half. I really appreciate it. To the phones. Kurt, welcome aboard. How you doing?
Hope gentlemen.
Yes, welcome, sir. What's up? What do you got for us?
So glad to have you back on the air.
Yes, sir.
The quote is, "I'm singing for Nelson, ain't I, baby?"
One more time.
I'm singing for Nelson, ain't I, baby?
I'm singing for Nelson, ain't I, baby?
For Nelson, ain't I, baby?
Let me think
Louder,
of where I have
Nathan?
any inkling.
Nothing.
I'm singing for Nelson, ain't I,
Is that a famous? Is that?
Is this a movie
know.
we would have heard of?
Absolutely.
I'd say it's a
Singing
baseball
for Nelson.
movie.
Is this a baseball movie, Kurt?
Certainly.
Singing
Baseball
for Nelson.
movie.
Gosh, he's right off the bat kind of stumped.
Well, it sounds like something like from the the Prohibition days or Nickelodeon days, like early days of like Shoeless Joe Jackson days.
Well, who said it? He may have already won, but what actor said it?
A bit actor, but a primary role. Which is to say, I don't know the person's name.
Well, I don't know whether this is a little too nebulous
I don't know
or not.
what's the movie. Because we're not going to guess this, obviously.
You want the answer?
Yeah, give us the answer. We'll tell you whether you deserve the tickets.
Okay. A League of Their Own.
I'm singing for Nelson. What? Okay.
Where was that in the movie?
Was that Rosie O'Donnell?
No, but Rosie was in the movie. It's when they all snuck away from the coach and their caretaker and went to a bar and got hammered. And the woman who was typecast
that's a little nebulous.
I don't know.
We're not giving it.
It's up to Flounder. I say yes. Kimmer says no.
I'm going to have to say yes because the lady I'm hanging out with chimed in and she knew the answer before he even.
Well, we need to get her in here.
Where was she when we needed her?
I just looked up at my phone.
God. All right. Well, you win, Kurt. You win. Congratulations. And by the way, all right, man. Well, now we'll put you on hold, and then we'll do whatever has to be done here. And Steve and Rich.
I appreciate it, gentlemen.
All right, man. All right, now we'll put him on hold, and now let's go ahead and get Steve. See if Steve wants to go.
Wait a minute. Is that young lady always late to things? I mean,
aren't all ladies kind of fashionably late?
All right, I need an update on Flounder's little mystery gal here.
She's obviously intelligent. She likes movies.
Now, and what did she think about the Friday Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse? Did you hear that?
Still up in the air.
Yeah.
Still. Oh,
She may not. She may not have heard that.
I got you. Okay.
All right, now these people may want to save their questions for tomorrow.
Well, we should still take their calls.
Let's take their calls.
Okay,
If they're still there, take
Steve, let's take Steve. Is on 106.3-404-741-1230. Hi, Steve. Thanks for holding. I really appreciate it. Welcome, sir. I hate that, Steve. Stop doing that forever. Hello, Steve. What's going on?
Hey, Kimmer. Hey, Pete. Welcome back. It's good to hear your voices.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy should have won that or not.
Yeah, obviously iffy to me, a little iffy to me. But anyway, since his Flounders, we got to make the girlfriend happy.
Kurt wins the tickets.
Yeah, okay. All right. So what were you going to do for us there, Steve?
Well, will you still have the same contest tomorrow? Or will you do something different?
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say I've got a good one, and I think I can stump you. I'll just try to get in tomorrow and then take care of business then.
All right, tomorrow we're going to do it at 4 o'clock, to be fair to different people listening. Around 4:30.
Well, no, maybe.
Sometime after the 4 o'clock hour. If you can listen then, Steve, and we'll try to do that for the folks at 4 o'clock hour.
Kurt got hung up on, so Kurt, give us a call back and we'll get you set up with the tickets.
Is that damn intern in there?
Shane.
Anyway, thanks, Steve. Thank you. And
Shane.
Now, did Rick hang up?
Yeah.
Okay. And now is that
that's
Steve?
It. Everybody's gone.
Okay, forgot.
No one wants to talk to you. That was a smashing success, wasn't it?
Well, I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was.
Who came up with that idea? That's Shane.
Well, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, and again,
I'm trying to think which actress said that.
I can't remember that line from going to the bar.
Was it the real ugly? Remember the one who wasn't very attractive at
the
first?
farmer's daughter.
Yes,
You know what? In the gym.
I think maybe it was from Gina Davis because she was singing for. One of the girls was probably singing for her boyfriend or husband,
her little sister,
who wasn't
maybe,
there,
the blonde
at war or something.
God, I haven't seen that movie in 20 years. Or
Here, wait. What was the line again? I'll Google it and I'll see what comes up. That might
something about Herman. I'm singing for Herman.
Nelson. I'm singing for Nelson or something like that.
I'll take a look at it.
I don't remember that line.
All
no,
right.
I don't.
Anyway, 404-741-1230. Okay, back. Get your phone calls. We got top. We're going to do Juneteenth here. So, first of all, tell me whether you think this is a thing, because I think it's a thing. This morning, as you know, I don't sleep much. I wake up all the time to go make a head call. Okay. This morning, I wake up and the first thing I do is look over at the clock to see what time it is. Yes. So I know I'm kind of timing how much more time I have left to try to get back to sleep. Mm-hmm. I can't sleep more than like 3 hours in a row.
Okay, we got that. Yeah.
I wake up, I look at the clock, 3:33. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Make a head call, go back to sleep. 3:30. Toss and turn. Eventually I go back to sleep. I wake up, look at the clock, 4:44.
Uh-huh.
Make a head call,
Uh-oh.
Go back to sleep. I'm not making this up. 5:55, and I got out of bed.
That's weird.
3:33, 4:44, 5:55. The 3 times I woke up. Thank God there's no 6:66. I swear to God, it's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Now what the hell?
That is bizarre.
Is that strange?
That's very strange. I've been dreaming of ex-girlfriends the last couple of nights. What's up with that?
Oh, you have no idea what I've been psychoed with the last 30 years. Sorry, the lying just seats on the screen. Anyway,
what are we talking about?
Okay. Father's Day. Oh, first of all, are we on Rumble and YouTube, right? Okay, I'm holding up a picture. Hey guys, how you doing? Anyway, it's a whole team. We should go live on. We can't even go live on Facebook because they're outside the window. How you doing, guys? Like a little league team?
Yeah.
Hey man, how's it going? Semper Fi. Hey. Outstanding. We love visitors. They're all over the place. Got our uniforms on. They're the young. What are they? Young guns.
Yeah,
the young guns. Outstanding, and they're going to the ball game. Oh, this is great. We love to see the kids, man. And baseball. Is there anything better than if I were a trillionaire, I would make sure that every kid in every single town in America who wanted to could play baseball, or at least have a glove and a ball with somebody to play catch with. Just the joys of a silly thing like baseball. And by the way, when you learn how to throw a ball when you're 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, you know it forever. It's like riding a bike. I mean, you can play catch forever. And if you have a kid or a nephew or something, you can play catch forever. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've got my glove and my ball in my car.
Well, yeah. You for months you talked about bring your glove in. I got a glove. I'm going to buy a glove and we'll play catch in the hallway.
Yeah. Well, we did it once.
When
we were trapped in the ice storm.
Once.
Well, it's kind of hard to throw a baseball down the hallway of business of a workplace. I'm saying, sorry, miss. Anyway, so I'm.
This is her. This is from A League of Your Own.
This is it?
Do you remember when the unattractive girl got wasted at the bar and she started singing to the nerd?
I don't remember that. We'll play it. As I said, let's play it again.
You guys go ahead.
I can't quite hear it.
I can't.
Anyway.
When we're coming back.
Okay, come back. It's 3:46. Time for the 3:45 break.
That's Brian Jordan out there.
Oh, my God, it is.
That's Brian Jordan.
The Brian Jordan. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's get a selfie. No, sorry. Leave him alone. All right. 3:40.
Come on, we gotta go. Come on, we gotta go. I see it now, hang on, baby.
You sure?
Come on. No!
I could take her home.
I could take her
It'd be an
home.
honor.
Ain't something could make me.
Anyway, that was from League of Their Own.
I remember that now.
I don't remember much about it. But anyway, we were talking earlier about some of the dialogue. I'm trying to stump us tomorrow. Tomorrow, 4:30 or sometime after the 4 o'clock hour. In the 4 o'clock hour. Tomorrow, we'll give away Braves tickets, as we did earlier today. Anyway, how you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls. And Shane is back there somewhere in the dark, getting ready to learn how to do all this stuff. So when Flounder leaves us and goes on to better and bigger things, he's training his replacement. I hope not. Anyway, birthdays. The naughty little Paula Abdul is 61 today. Forever Your Girl, Cold-Hearted, Straight Up, stuff like that. And apparently when she was on American Idol, my understanding is that she was such a giver and so concerned with, well, let's say helping the younger talent of when the young men would come in and sing and perform, and they were a little nervous. Maybe after the show, there was too much adrenaline.
Take the edge off.
Surging and through their young, fit anatomies. And Paula would say, well, no, there. And would gently appropriate the specific physical requirements to make everything was
what do you
fine.
mean? I don't
just so she would comfort them and nurture them, and especially a happy God's gift to the mankind, a woman.
There's so many ways she could have done that, but
many different possible ways. All right, back to the phone. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Stories. We got a billion stories. Did you hear? If you haven't heard, we were just looking at on the Fox TV news coverage. President showers with daughter. Is addressing a crowd, British people, and he at the podium. Doesn't know where he is.
They were British people?
I think they were British people. Wasn't that the story when he says "God save the Queen"?
I thought it was Connecticut, and no one knows why he said it.
Yeah, that's he wasn't. There was
British people.
Had nothing to do. That
I thought there was some kind of British. Nothing at all.
They're claiming that he was saying something to somebody in the audience.
Yeah, but that's what. But that's all nonsense.
No, then he couldn't find his way off the stage.
He's talking to two things. He's talking to Connecticut, and he says, "God save the Queen. She's dead." You don't say "God save the Queen."
He said, "God save the Queen, man."
Yeah, man.
Fascist regime.
Yeah, it's like no joke. That God save the Queen, man. And then he starts pointing to the front, and then he turns around and points to the back because he doesn't know where to go. He has to have a handler walk him off the stage again.
Yeah,
every time. Yeah. Follow the blue line, Mr. President. Remember that?
But this is we're going to walk right on down here.
Oh my God!
It's all normal. That's just
nothing to see here.
Yeah, keep moving.
He's fit and wonderful. In fact. Let's skip around. Let's do the Shirley Temple. Can we get the sound of Shirley Temple, where the podium princess? This was unbelievable. Hold on, I got it right here somewhere. I got to only find it. I swear to God, I got it right here. Casey. Well, here we go. Okay. White House Press Secretary Vagine Tadine, Shirley Temple, the podium princess, sold colorful Goldilocks, was being interviewed by the Griot. I don't know what that is. Thing. And she said this about how important she is. And again, if you have the opportunity, usually in the afternoon, Fox News or someplace will carry her live press briefings. Mm-hmm. If you have never seen one, you really owe yourself the treat of watching her try to answer questions at the podium. It's distressingly, embarrassingly funny. She's incompetent. She got her job because she's black, she's gay, she's a girl. 3 check marks, that's the only reason. And here's what she says to the interviewer about how important that is for America.
A year in this role, there's been a couple of things that has made me incredibly proud. Many things have made me incredibly proud to be at that podium during this historic moment. Again, this is a historic administration. I'm a historic figure, and I certainly walk in history every day, but this is also a historic making administration because of this president.
Not full of herself, is she?
God.
Jeez.
Historic administration of disasters.
All she does is read out of a book.
And she's got her book gets bigger and bigger. She can't carry it around. Oh, my God.
Encyclopedia Britannica up there.
And here's what The Hill wrote about her. Barine Fadine Shashin Fatin, the Surly Temple, makes history at the White House. She'll become the new face of President's White House, an historic change that some have been waiting to see for years. The first black, openly gay, LGBTQ plus person to serve as a thing. You can't understate how huge this is, how important it's going to be to so many people of color who have and are working so hard in the communications field to see a black LGBTQ woman representing the President of the United States at the podium. Oh, thank God, from now, finally, a black person can know that you too can get a job.
In broadcasting.
Congratulations. If you're black and you're gay, you too can get a job in America. Finally, thanks to Brajin Batin Fachin, you black people, and you know who you are, you now have the opportunity, if you're gay especially, to actually get a job in America thanks to her. And the Biden administration is an historic administration. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, now, speaking of historic, God, we're almost out of time. I can't believe it. I'm holding up a picture. This is the color section, section, thank you, of the Al Jazeera Constipation. And not a word on Father's Day, by the way. Not a single word about Father's Day, because it's a black paper. This is America's largest black newspaper. Nothing. Well, if you tell me.
They don't follow Father's Day?
Apparently not. I guess they have to find a reason. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Instead, it's all Juneteenth. But here's what's so funny. It's a Juneteenth story celebrating the end of slavery, and forget Father's Day.
In Texas.
There's not. Okay, here's the story of all the pictures. There's not a man anywhere.
What?
Celebrating Juneteenth, all the celebrations of Juneteenth, a girl and a girl. Here's the most emotional picture is two young ladies together with Juneteenth, and then another big emotional picture is a little girl riding a horse with her mommy. There's not a man, there's no husbands and fathers anywhere.
I know they're trying to get rid of white men. They're also trying to get rid of black men, too?
Apparently, yeah. It's over. They don't even bother anymore. Father's Day, pfft.
This is something we can bond over.
Yeah, exactly. God. It's 4 o'clock. I got to go. You're killing me. More, though, coming up. We got actual news, stories, stuff, things, people. pricey California wines.
Is there a rock band in history that has not been ripped off? The Stones got ripped off. George Harrison, the Beatles got ripped off.
I know.
All right, you were supposed to read that last segment. This is Guns N' Roses.
Like I say, Guns N' Roses on this day in 1987. Guns N' I don't know.
Or ripped off by their agent.
Guns N' Roses and Pearl Jam. You could play two. See, it sounds just like Pearl Jam to me.
No, it does not.
Well, I don't know. I'm a Beach Boys and Stones guy. Beach Boys and Little Eva and Locomotion.
Guy, man. What's
come
your
on.
favorite Stones song?
The one where a Puerto Rican girl wants to meet you. Miss you, because I want to get a little Puerto Rican girl.
What album is that on?
You know, and honest to God, before I freaking die, here's my one bucket list is to have a little Puerto Rican girl who wants to meet me.
How about a Puerto Rican lady that wants to meet you?
No, a little Puerto Rican girl. That's
no. By the way, let's rephrase that again.
All right. Now wait a minute. We have a whole new track. We're off on a whole new track here all of a sudden. I thought about this the other day, and it would take a lot of work to put it together. But think about this. In fact,
it's good working with you, Father.
No.
Yeah, it really was. It's been fun.
Well, in fact, we're going to talk about the whole gender thing and the adult thing. And Flounder, earlier before we went on the show today, came in and said maybe one of the topics today you could play the song. What was the song you mentioned? The girl, something about Big Girls Don't Cry. And the reason you mentioned it was because the issue of whether you can even call a woman a girl anymore. And if you're you can't say big girls don't cry.
Not only that, because big girls are now models.
Big fat girl, but you can't even say girl anymore. In other words, the whole world is changing on the words you use describing people, human beings.
You don't see any fat guys on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Exactly. Well, but here's the thing. I thought about this the other day. How many songs? I'm assuming there's some computer app that would figure it out. I was listening the other day. I can't believe the number of songs from the old rock and roll days where the phrase came up, "little girl." Once I saw that little girl, I knew that I was done.
Yeah. She was just 17.
But you know what I mean? Even the phrase "little girl."
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen.
What does he mean when he
says
she was just 17? You know what I mean? What does that mean?
It means he wants to be with her in a carnal way because at that age, everybody wants to have sex with each other. I assume today it's probably 13. I don't know, but anyway, see what little girl. The phrase "little girl." Ricky Nelson, "Poor Little Fool." The song, but I knew when I met that little girl, she was going to get my heart. Honestly, the phrase "little girl" in rock and roll songs meant, well, boy, that little girl, and she's a petite and sexy little thing. But you can't. That's gone now. You can't even say that kind of stuff.
No.
But I remarked about it. We were talking about Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. But again, the phrase "little girl."
Well, the word "boy" is touchy in some places too now.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Guns N' Roses, and they were a thing, and they did a thing. So I don't know what the hell thing.
What the hell would we go for that tangent?
No, I can't imagine. All right, hold everything. Hunter's book is out for if you got $1,000, you can buy Hunter's picture book. All the video and pictures from Hunter Biden's laptop. It's a picture book for like $1,000. And by the way, what a great idea! Somebody said, "Oh my God, let's publish the stuff."
Yes.
I don't have $1,000, but a lot of people do. The only thing to be, what a coffee table book that'd be. Holy smokes! I mean, anyway, what a great idea. Pretty cool. Also, I have a VA update for you later. I'm feeling a little more positive about getting my just rewards. Not that I feel due of anything. I did my thing and I'm done, and I don't feel like a victim, but I'm ticked off, and now I'm going to go to the bottom of it. Boxers or briefs, and we got Pete's tweets, and we got Skynet coming up very, very soon, I promise. Sure. Animal stories. Holy crap, it's sports. We got a billion things. And a little while ago, there was some. I did something bad in the booth, and Flounder had to come in here with some spray to make it smell better. We'll just say that's what. Okay, so Flounder comes in here with some Lysol spray to clean the booth in here. Okay,
two words: fried shrimp.
Well, no, okay. I've lost another 2. I'm now my 8th grade body weight. By the way, I've lost more weight. Anyway, and nothing fits. And I mentioned to Pete, my underwear is now too big. We'll get to that in a second. First of all, so Flounder comes in and sprays the room. Okay, and so a few minutes later, Pete says, "Oh my God, that stink is awful. I just can't believe the stink in this room." And phone. And I said, "Just wait a minute, and you won't smell it at all." And he said, "What are you talking about?" Okay, here's the truth, and you can do this. I've done the experiment.
Yeah.
If you blindfold a person, and then you say, "Okay, I'm gonna hold something that has an odor, a fragrance, under your nose. I want you to tell me what it is and when I take it away. Okay? Blindfold. And the example we used in the experiment was a bottle of like soap, ivory soap or something or other. And so it was a girl. I blindfolded the girl and held the thing, and she says, "Oh, that smells like washing liquid detergent." Yep, you're right. And tell us when we take it away. 30 seconds later, she said, "Okay, you just took it away. We didn't take it away." If you smell the same thing without any break in the action, if you have an odor in your that's near you and for about your olfactory for about 30 seconds, it will stop identifying that as a new odor, and you won't realize you're still smelling it because it won't react in your brain that way.
So when you
if you can take it for 30 seconds, after that, you're not going to, now if it was, a horrible.
If you blindfold a woman and tie her up where she can't leave,
now that's not
what you do to
okay,
them?
No, we're not talking about what you find in your trunk in the weekends, Pete.
That's kinky. You just got to realize that on Mondays and Thursdays, this is a two-man submersible sub.
I know. All right. Well, we're never going to find them either. All right. So, but anyway, I'm just telling you, this is a little aside. We mentioned it earlier, and I thought I'd pass it along. Do an experiment. Do it with your kids.
Right. Well, I was my mother used to spray. We go in a hotel room somewhere. She sprayed everything with Lysol to the point where you smelled like Lysol for 2 days. Yeah. So he came in there spraying the Lysol in this soundproof, airproof room.
Well, the smell, your sense of smell is maybe the most powerful
it's memory.
kicker.
It's right next to your memory. Yeah, that's why.
And that burning leaves, mowing lawns.
Cut grass.
Sure, all those things you've done as a kid, boom, come right flying back to you. Anyway, just right now, should we do another stupid thing?
Skynet.
Let's do in a minute. We'll do Skynet. Let me do one more thing. I mentioned to you. That I'm losing weight again. I'm down. I'm literally lighter than I've been since seventh grade. And my clothes don't fit.
Ethiopian kids are mailing you care packages.
I know, it's incredible, and they're too big. So I mentioned to Pete, a year ago or something. I mentioned I didn't have any underwear that fit, and I did a whole big thing on the podcast. I had to get new underwear, and I do every 10 years I buy underwear. So I went to the outlet mall. It was a horrible experience getting up there, and I almost got out. Couldn't find my car. It was just horrible. Finally got some underwear, bring them home, and realized that this was like a year ago when I was more normal weight. I bought XL underwear because I used to have a 36-inch waist. Well, now I have like a 20-inch waist, and so my underwear are just drooping like freaking boxers. And I mentioned it to Pete, and I'm telling you, people that wear boxers are demented or something. They made us do that in the Marines. When you get to Paris Island, they issue you boxer shorts. You're not allowed to wear skivvies.
You usually wear what your daddy wore. Yeah. Usually what you wear. Yeah, you date somebody.
What do you call it? What's the name of the
briefs?
Briefs, yeah. I can't wear boxers. Oh, blech.
Okay, here's the problem. I wore briefs my whole life until the 1990s. I started dating a woman. She goes, people don't wear briefs anymore. It's boxers. You have to get some boxers. So she went and bought me some boxers. And then a few years ago, so that was the 90s. So a few years ago, I was dating this woman, and she goes, why are you wearing boxers? Nobody wears boxers anymore. So she went and bought me briefs.
Is it they don't like you walking around and they're looking like short?
I don't know.
It's unbelievable.
I didn't like boxers until I had to wear them. And then it was like, well, this isn't bad. I got boxers on right now.
Oh, I hate those. They get up and they get right up in the old thing there, and I pull them out of the thing.
Anyway, is it time for...
let's do a little cowabunga there for it's 412. There you go.
All right.
Oh.
I saw this on television yesterday, and I thought, this is for you.
All right.
An AI-powered shoe lets you walk at the speed of running. And you can look it up on YouTube.
Oh, it's like it bounces for when you're...
There's a piece of footwear tech. It actually allows you to walk at the speed of running. They're called moonwalkers. They're like slip-on skates. They've got like 8 little tiny wheels on it. And with the help of AI, they know how you walk. And they measure how you walk. They measure your gait, your walking pattern. And as you yourself learn how to walk in them, and you're basically moving faster than anybody else,
so
but you're walking.
So the shoes are going... So they have some kind of battery-powered accelerator?
You can recharge them. And
but how do they
wheels.
move?
They're wheels. They're powered.
It's like skates, you mean?
Yeah, but they're powered. And if you quicken your pace, the shoes accelerate. There's a pair of brakes on them, too. You can go on uneven you can go upstairs. You can shut them down and walk upstairs if you want.
So this is like roller skates.
Yes.
Except they have their own motor.
And own brain. Yeah, they got their own brain.
Well, now I don't understand that part.
Because, we don't all
So you
walk
don't
the
lose
same.
your balance, you mean?
Right, so you don't fall over. It's got a top speed of 7 miles per hour.
That's pretty good running. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good speed.
Oh, you see the videos.
Yeah,
You're passing there. You know what it's like? You go to the airport. You can walk,
the escalator,
or you get on that moving
walking
sidewalk.
machine. Yeah, moving sidewalk.
That's what it's like.
Yeah,
except a little faster.
They're like $20,000. I'm guessing. 45,000.
$1,399.
Yeah, sure. 13,000.
$1,300.99.
And they're available?
Yeah, you can pre-order a $50 deposit.
Oh, my God. We need to get the Dickey Company to buy those for us so we can try them on the air and go on YouTube and Rumble and be total tax deductible, and we'll show the little people exactly what they can get for their money. Holy crap, what a great idea. It's 4:14. Time for the 4:13 break here with 106.3 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and everything. We got all this stuff coming up. All right, I got standing by. 421. It's only me. It's one of the camera with Pete Davis and Flounder and Shane back there. Is this The Clash? Oh, what a good guess. The Delinquents, a band featuring Mick Jones, later became of the Clash fame. The Delinquents made their debut at the Student Union Bar at Queen Elizabeth College in Kensington, which I assume is in Great Britain. Is that
London.
Right? London. Mick Jones singing there in 1974. Here you go. By the way, don't forget one of our other camera sponsors to brag about our gang at the Atlanta Safe House. Again, I admit that I didn't put documents when I needed to 20 years ago into a safe place, and I have to go fetch them out again. Atlanta Safe House. Don't do what I did. Do the right thing. Protect your guns, too, which I have done properly. Atlanta Safe House. You need a safe. Here's how you get them. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Uh-huh.
There you are. Now, God, what were we just? I'm just going to say something, and I forgot what the heck I was. Oh, darn it. I hate when I do this.
Biden's walk.
Oh, God, I can't believe this. We're going to get a song for you. Check this out. We were just watching President showers with daughter, getting off of tarmac or something, walking. Oh, he was in California. He's in California, where he's actually meeting with Newsom, who wants his job, obviously. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen President Pervert recently walking, he's a human erector set. He looks like he can't make joints move evenly together in one motion. He literally looks like he can't walk, like he has to remember which part to move in order.
He's a walking corpse.
He looks like a skeleton. And again, he looks like he's anorexic. I mean, if you see his pants have nothing in them. You look at his leg, his pant legs. There's nothing in them. I mean, it's he's done.
So do you think it's AI Joe?
It could be AI. It could be a wax dummy from Madame Trousseau's, and they put a little AI in there.
It looks like it's animated.
But he does. He honestly. I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like one of those robots that they bring to show off what robots can do these days.
Yeah,
he looks like one of those literally just a metal robot figure who can now jump over chairs or something. But you've seen those videos on modern robots? That's what he looks like.
If you animate a skeleton, like a Disney skeleton, that's what he looks like. That's what he walks. Yeah.
And ironically, there's a group, well, you know, the singing group, the Bangles, very famous Bangles, Manic Monday,
Susanna
and Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yeah.
Well, here's a takeoff group of the Bangles with Walk Like a Biden.
The American president is doomed. A little old man can barely move. If he moves too quick, he'll topple just like a domino. He's got that sinister smile and thinks he just might win the bet. But he's just hanging on, dangling like Hunt a cigarette. 100 times for the hookah pipe, say, walk like a Joe Biden.
I mean, it's really depressing. And again, if you just joined us, he was talking to people in Connecticut, and he gets done, and he says, God save the Queen, man. And then where do I go? And they have to lead him off the stage. Can you imagine?
And people are thinking about voting for him again. Hell, vote for Newsom, for God's sake, before you vote for Biden. Please, somebody with a pulse.
Anybody. You can't put this man back in office.
Yeah, he can't. He's
not capable.
It's like Fetterman, who tried to introduce him. Boy, is that blind leading the blind?
Well, here you go. You're getting ahead of me. No, well, let's do it now. What the hell?
On the ridge.
No, we're going to do it now, and we'll do it again later on. This is unbelievable. Again. The people of Pennsylvania voted Fetterman as a United States Senator knowing he was mentally incompetent. Not only mentally incompetent, but they also hid the fact that he's been mentally ill for most of his life.
Yep.
He is so depressed he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, he couldn't talk, he couldn't walk. He had to be hospitalized before he ever hit the Senate floor.
Yep.
He's also famous for wearing hoodies and shorts in the Senate chamber. In the Senate chamber. He shows up in hoodies.
Yeah, did he get like Fashion Guy of the Year? Or like
he was awarded by the New York Times Magazine Fashion Model of the Year, Fashion Trendsetter. Trendsetter for 2023.
Yeah, that's it.
Trendsetter 2023. He donned a hoodie and a pair of shorts and sneakers this weekend to greet not only the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro, but also the president of the United States. And Fetter Doopy shows up in a hoodie and a pair of shorts and sneakers.
He's as if Frankenstein's monster moved to Venice Beach and became a skateboarder.
Well, here and then they allow him to introduce the president of the United States.
Do we have it?
And we have it right here.
And now I'm standing next to the president again, next to a collapsed bridge here. And he is here to commit to work with the governor and the delegation to make sure that we get this fixed quick.
Not a king, not a prime minister.
This is a president that is committed to infrastructure. Yeah, and then on top of that, the Jewel kind of a law,
Jewel law,
of the inflation bill that is going to make sure that there's going to be bridges all across across America getting rebuilt.
Yeah. It was a Jewel kind of a law with an infraction of the infraction. The United States Senator, ladies and gentlemen, and it's way beyond being funny. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace.
We're at the end of the republic.
And look at Dianne Feinstein from California. She has to be rolled around in a chair. She can barely hold her head up. And she's still a senator.
Generations are going to look back at us and just shake their heads.
I mean, it's unbelievable. He was seen wearing a hoodie and shorts in the Senate several times since he got out of the hospital, treated for clinical depression. And I mean, you've got to be. This can't be real.
You know, I wouldn't get anywhere near him. He, to me, is the type that's going to nut up one day and break somebody's neck.
You got me.
It's what it is. It's of mice and men. What was the character?
Oh God, not
Lord. Barney, was it? Of Mice and Men,
Lenny.
Yeah,
he's Lenny from of Mice and Men. That he breaks the neck of somebody or something.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And by the way, speaking of unbelievable, coming up, you're going to hear a man who claims that as a man he had a baby, and he's being celebrated on NPR, the people you pay for to go on the radio and television and pass along these gender and transgender things. And we're going to talk a lot about trannies. Also, a new movie which featured young people saying, "Don't do it. Don't cut off your partner because you're going to regret it. It's not good for you." And of course, that's been now banned and censored. AMC.
Don't go to AMC.
AMC is now fallen victim to the wokers. And by the way, that's not. And here we go. More Oscar rules. Guess what it's going to take now to try to win an Oscar. That's coming up here, too. And again, the daddy thing. Also, Black American surveys, the largest black newspaper in America, the Al Jazeera Constipation, has now come out with surveys and study results and test results saying that, well, Americans are doing much better than they did under Donald Trump, but they're so afraid of racism because of you white people. Basically, there's no watch out. You black people, watch out because we white people are so, just ingrained in our racism that it's getting worse and worse.
20-something people just shot in Chicago by other black people, and you're worried that it's white people doing this?
And worse because of black people. Because there is no black leadership. Where are they coming out about the violence in Chicago over the weekend?
Nothing.
At a Juneteenth celebration.
CNN ignored it.
Yeah. Won't even mention it. Where's the black leaders? Hey, Carmella, Carmela's side piece, Vice President shiftless and lazy. How about coming out? Oh, that's right. She wanted to get their bond released, and she wanted no more cash. She helped free the people from the riots from the last 2 years.
She's not technically African American anyway, is she?
Yeah, no, she's not white, but she's Cuban and
Indian and
from
raised
India,
in Canada.
Yeah, born and raised in a rich part of Canada, prep school girl. Yeah. But a wonderful side piece, America's favorite escort. All right, look out, 420, 430. Oh my God, it's time for the 429 break. Sorry, Emily. Here we go. Stones. 4:35. It's only me. It's only the camera with Pete Davis and Flounder and Shade. Yeah, watch it. 1968, baby. The Stones scored their 7th #1 single with Jumpin' Jack Flash. Oh, music. Here we go. Yeah. Keith Richards said he and Jagger wrote the lyrics. Famous story, staying at Richards' country house. All right now. I used to sing bass one summer with Phil in for him. You know, long story. Let's not talk about me. They're staying at Richards' country house, awakened one morning by the sound of the gardener, Jack Dyer, walking past the window. Mick Jagger supposedly said, "What the heck is that noise?" And Richards said, "That's just Jack. That's Jumpin' Jack." And they wrote the song Jumpin' Jack Flash there after watching the gardener go by.
Drugs.
Famous story. Yeah, I'm sure. Guarantee it. No question.
I'm crediting the drugs.
Exactly. By the way, in this day, 1939, legislation passed that outlawed pinball machines in Atlanta, Georgia.
Did you know that right next to the Bigfoot Museum, up there's, where the hell it is.
Macon Mountains.
Right next door is a pinball museum.
You know, when I got fired and retired, my brother and I bought a $4,000 pinball machine, and in fact, he bought a couple of them. And our house had them in our house, big time charter.
What happened to them?
When we lost all our money, we have to sell them. So they're gone, long gone now.
You were forcibly retired.
Forcibly retired, yeah. It was no retirement. It was not exactly. 70 years ago, in 1953, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, who had been convicted of conspiring to pass atomic secrets to the Russians, they were executed in 1953 this day at Sing Sing Prison in New York. Unfortunately, it turned out that the main witness against the Rosenbergs apparently had lied. Julius was a spy, but he didn't give the Soviets anything of any consequence. And Ethel, they say Ethel didn't do anything to deserve the electric chair, but either way, they fried. They were spies.
I totally disagree.
Yeah, they were spies.
They were spies and deserved to be killed.
Yeah, exactly. You don't mess around with stuff like that. That's bourgeois, man. Quick birthday or two. Zoe Saldana. Gamora in Guardians of the City, Avatar, Uhura in Star Trek movies, but she was in Complas. Oh, I can't tell the name of the flower.
Say it.
Complas.
Prime Minister.
No, God,
Paris.
Columbiana.
Yes.
That was a great movie. Every time it's on, I DVR and watch the good parts.
She's good.
It was but the whole movie theory, a female assassin kind of was very, very cool. All right, hold on, we'll get more stuff.
That's why she plays in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's an assassin. Yeah.
And in fact, is that the brand new one that's out now? There's a brand.
It's the third in the trilogy.
Yeah, and it's brand new. And apparently she's the tough macho, killer chick.
Came back from the dead. That's how tough she is.
Yeah. Coming up, we have animal stories. We have Holy Crap Sports with Pete Davis a little bit later on. And now back to, we'll do some actual topics here. For example, the NPR thing. Now, this is a claim. NPR, National Public Radio, is basically taxpayer sponsored. Not entirely, but it's, your tax money supporting it, the public radio and public television. Well, on Father's Day, Sunday, NPR gave the spotlight to a tranny man who gave birth to 2 daughters. 37-year-old Caden Coleman experienced a surprise pregnancy after temporarily stopping hormones for a, quote, top surgery. In 2013, he had just had top surgery, a double mastectomy. So this is a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a woman. I'm going to stop saying he had. This is too confusing. Okay. This is a girl, a 37-year-old Caden Coleman. 10 years ago, she took off her boobs, stopped taking hormones for the procedure to be a man. She's transgender, and she says doctors told her she could not get pregnant after she had been taking the hormones and had her boobs cut off. They said, "Oh, you're never going to get pregnant." A few years later, she'd been taking hormones long enough to avoid another pregnancy. She found out that she was expecting, and she's raising 2 young daughters. So NPR is saluting this girl who claims to be a boy, therefore proving that a man can have babies.
It's not true.
Preconceived ideas of what a pregnant person is supposed to look like, she says. I had to convince a lot of people I was pregnant and that I wasn't a strange man trying to infiltrate the OBGYN office. I got offered abortions an astronomical amount of times. People think trannies either don't want to have kids or shouldn't have kids. Now, check this out. One of the biggest things that people get wrong is that we hate our bodies. Again, this is a girl who wants to be a guy. Biggest thing that people get wrong is we hate our bodies, and thus anything remotely feminine would be something that we will reject, including pregnancy. She goes on, for those of us who identify more on the masculine spectrum, just because we identify as such does not take away our desire to have kids. If we have the body parts to do it, why not?
Most transsexuals do not want children.
Right. The concept of a pregnant man or birthing person, of course, is now the new thing. I guarantee my daughters probably say birthing person. I'll guarantee. They're so liberal and woke.
Quit saying moms
instead of saying
and
mom. Women. I can't even. Maybe not. I know we still do Mother's Day, so they don't make me say Happy Birthing Person's Day. So thank God for that. So maybe not yet, but I know they're close. Especially Sarah. She's over she is way.
What happened?
Well, again, I told you we were down. Last time I saw him on a little spring break thing, and I was playing catch with Brady, and we were showing pictures, and there was one picture he showed me in his baseball uniform. We had a lot of blackface on, where they had a big cross blackface, so all those cheeks and like half their faces covered blackface. So Sarah says, she says, now Brady, now you understand the issue of people wearing blackface as a derogatory thing. And I said, yeah, Brady, I should probably do it every day. And he said, no, Dad, don't you talk to me. And she attacked me. She said, no, don't you be doing that with him. No, you don't have that. I'm like, oh my God, is my daughter turning on me? Because I said, he's not going to be a blackface racist. He's 12 years old. He's a baseball star, a gifted student, the greatest kid I ever knew. He's a perfect child, and so is his sister. And they're afraid about doing racial things with black. Oh my God, let him be a kid. There's a meme, I put it on Facebook months and months, it might have been a year ago. There was a picture of little boy, little girl, little boy, little girl in different costumes, whatever, and it said, if you want to make sure you don't raise your kids to be racists, stop calling them racist. Anyway, all right, so Daddy now has a baby. Now Daddy has two babies. If you have the body parts to do it, why not? Well, okay, let me say this. Well, first of all, I don't give a crap about trans. I really don't care. If you're a trans, there's no such thing as transphobia. There's no phobia. Nobody's afraid of you trannies unless you're the kind of tranny who is such a psycho murderer that you slaughter little baby girls and boys at a nursery school. Yeah. And we still haven't seen that the manifesto either, by the way. Why she did it. We know why she did it, but they don't want us to know that, trannies are going psycho now because they're claiming, thanks to the media, ladies and gentlemen, that they are in danger.
Everybody's going after.
The media saying, boy, the trannies have never been in more dangerous situations because of the hatred by the white, and particularly for some reason it's now racial as well, but by the straight community, that they're in more danger than ever of being attacked and losing all the rights and everything else, which is crap. It's a lie. I'm not afraid of you. I don't care about you. Do whatever you want. And as far as I'm concerned, for the record, if you're a tranny and you're a girl and you think you're a guy, but you still have your vagina and your all the parts to it, if you want to have a baby and get pregnant, have a ball. I mean, I don't have the right to tell you not to get pregnant if you're female. If you think you're a guy but you're still actually a girl and you have the parts and you want somebody to impregnate you, fine. I don't have a right to say don't have a baby. Fine, go do whatever you want. I don't care. But it's not a thing, I mean, leave me alone.
I'd rather they didn't, since they're mentally ill.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're obviously psychos, but and they're going to raise a kid in some way that we wouldn't like. But again, you don't have the right to tell a woman she can't get pregnant.
That's true.
So I have to again, we have to be philosophical. But philosophically, I don't have the right, and therefore I won't do it. I mean, I'll take the high road on all this stuff. I don't like it, but again, that's why you go to the military, you go to war for your right to do things that I don't like. But again, nobody thinks that way anymore.
No,
it used to be
not.
free speech. I hate what you say, but go ahead, And now they say, no, if you're Republican, we can't have you talk on our campus.
It's misinformation. disinformation.
What was it? It was a great example of that today.
The Joe Rogan thing is going. What's going on with that?
Pete's going to talk about that later. Oh my God, it's already.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth going on this weekend with him.
Yeah. All right, it's already 4:45. I can't believe we got so much to get on here too, including the new movie stuff and the D-Tranny and Juneteenth. You're also got animal stories. Also, would you place a wager on the contestants in the Special Olympics? It's a real thing. They're offering betting on Special Olympics events.
On what?
If you have a special child, if you have a Down syndrome child, or if you're in the community of that charity kind of work, what do you think about people betting on the results of the Special Olympics?
And who's calling for this?
It's available right now. You can place a bet for the next Special Olympics and the special type competition.
Right.
Oh God. Okay, 4:45. Look out. Hey, but hope. Da, da.
Nothing is real.
1967. Paul McCartney admitted he took LSD 4 times during an interview with Life magazine in 1967. Paul McCartney told Daily Mirror he didn't regret it, and he'd spoken out and hoped that his fans would understand. Of course,
that's a lot of acid to do in one interview.
Well, now in 1967, and again, I can relate as a baby boomer, that age group. LSD scared the living crap out of
then,
me.
Yeah, it was stronger than hell.
I remember, Timothy Leary and drop acid, drop out, drop acid,
flashbacks,
drop out, but again, I remember. This is going to really age me, but the famous entertainer Art Linkletter, who had a TV show and the King of the Day and all that kind of stuff, and his daughter was on LSD and jumped out a window thinking she could fly, and he wrote a book. I think it's called "I Love You, Call Home" or something like that.
We went to school with the guy. He was notorious for, did it all the time. Yeah. And one night, him and my friend of mine were driving to the Limelight, that disco
nightclub, yeah,
and they're on 285, and all of a sudden. The person grabs hold of the wheel. He's driving. He grabs hold of it real rigid, and he goes, "Oh, my God." And my friend goes, "What is it?" He goes, "Do you see that? There's a dragon in front of us." It was night. Yeah. And the taillights in the cars before him had become dragon's eyes.
Oh, boy.
And they drove around 285 for 2 hours before he talked him into pulling over.
Don't do that stuff. That'll kill.
But again, now they've got it down to a science.
Well,
man.
I can't even. You
could do it like 50 minutes before the show and be ready to go as the show starts.
It'll ruin your brain. Don't you go psycho? Isn't that permanent stuff?
You never know. Right, Flounder?
Man. So, again.
What's going on? For John Fetterman.
I consider I've never even seen.
Well, the thing, different acids have different doses. Yes. So,
I'm totally.
You've never seen Snoopy blotter acid.
I've never seen, as far as I know, I've never. What's that, like a postage stamps and you lick it?
It looks like a super small stamp.
Well, I know there is such a thing, but I've never actually seen it in my life.
Now it's in a liquid form. So, like, you go to a lot of concerts and people just have it in a
slide dropper.
Yep, exactly.
Why would you take the chance?
Well, it's like ecstasy,
No. Ecstasy is. I don't know that. I've never even seen that either. I better start doing some more drugs. I just can't relate to you people. All right, who's holding the LSD?
Oh, let me ask Flounder.
I bet you somebody in the sales department's got something in the truck right now.
Flounder.
Yes.
How do you ingest mushrooms?
Magic mushrooms, you can eat them. Like as a whole, like you actually just take the stem and the cap.
Oh,
but what a lot of people do now is they grind them and you put them in capsules.
Oh, or you grind it on your food, powder your food.
Like how you have food grinders and stuff like that. Yeah, you can just grind stuff up.
No idea.
You don't smoke them?
I've never smoked mushrooms. No.
How can you smoke? How do you light it? I don't know.
With fire.
That was a great big fire. A really hot fire.
It's hot. What were we doing here?
By the way, we're doing. I don't know. We're all over the place. In fact, I was going to do this later, but I'll mention one more thing. Shane just came in a minute ago during the break. We were talking about the woman who wants to be a guy, and she was taking all kinds of hormones, had her boobs cut off, took all kinds of hormones. The doctor said, you're never going to get pregnant after all those hormones. Sure enough, she got pregnant, has 2 babies. And Shane came in and said, well, now, and I said, a woman has the right to get pregnant if she wants to. Who am I to say you can't get pregnant? So, on the other hand, I don't think it's right because of a lot of things. And Shane's point made a very good point. He said, after all the drugs that she's been taking, wouldn't that affect the chemical fetus makeup of the genetic, the baby batter thing with the DNA and the chromosome? Wouldn't that affect stuff? Are those kids going to be in any way, aren't you worried about birth defects and things like that?
Are they boys? Because she was taking something to make her a boy.
I think they're girls.
They're girls. They're going to be very butch girls then.
Well,
because if it was a boy, it probably came out with 2 you-know-whats.
I don't know, but again, you got to wonder about about all the drugs affecting your sexuality.
But you know what? You said that there's a woman who's a murderer, a convicted murderer. We have every right as a society to say you're not having any more kids.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Although, well...
Someone's really mentally ill. You can say you're not going to have. Well, these people are mentally ill.
Well, now there have been cases where a mentally challenged girl of 25 years old might have the mental capacity of a 5-year-old and gets pregnant, and they force her to have an abortion. Yeah. So there are circumstances, but again, I don't know whether a woman who's a murderer, therefore, if she gets out, if she commits murder, goes to prison for 20 years or 10 years, whatever,
she gets out.
Yeah,
I'm just saying while she's in prison.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
No conjugal visits.
All of it
None
is
of that
all,
mess.
No,
Yeah.
please, you're killing me. Anyway, no, I don't know what I'm doing. 4:56.
The animal story?
Well, let's do tweet. We'll do animal stories later. Let's do Pete's tweet. So we have a little flounder. Can we do a little something here? Thank you so much. In fact, I've got some tweets for tomorrow that I don't even understand. That shows me a baby boomer. But first, it's Pete's tweets.
All right, Groucho Marx. Once said,
"You bet your life.
Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend."
You know, I and I'm just realizing on my nightstand. You're a reader. I mean, you're a writer. You've published 75 books now, including 2 Pulitzer Prize winners and 1 Nobel Prize winner on chemistry of the innate birthing process.
We're never going to get through any of
it. Probably not. But I used to hate to read. I never, as a kid, I never read the Hardy Boy mysteries, and now I have at least 3 books and 2 magazines on my nightstand, and I read every night. I read all the time.
Flounder. He managed to take a Groucho Marx quote that I've yet to
all the way around.
I've yet to finish the quote, and he's already turned it back to a story about him. Let me do it. I'll do it real fast this time.
No, take your time.
Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend.
Thank you.
Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read.
Hey, hi. You say the chicken white? George Fetterman right here with $50.
Fetterman, another Fetterman.
George Fetterman.
In Japan...
Oh, God,
that hurts.
Loud.
In Japan, you can buy a Jaws bath bomb, like the movie.
Jaws bath bomb?
You know what a bath bomb is?
No.
It's a thing of soap that you throw in, and it just explodes suds everywhere. It just makes your whole bathtub a big sud thing.
I've never seen that.
The Patrick Mahomes commercial where he's throwing them into the thing, the State Farm commercial.
I've never seen it.
And the guy comes up and blows the jazz bath with the saxophone.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen that's every other commercial. But okay.
I can't believe this.
The Jaws bath bomb is shaped like a boat. You throw it in the tub, it starts exploding in the white suds and starts to sink and melt. When the boat is gone, a shark's head remains. It's like the Jaws shark head, and it starts spewing red blood out of its mouth like it's just eating, what was the guy's, Quint? Like he's eating Quint on the boat there.
So this is a bath toy.
It's a bath toy because of blood frenzy.
Oh my God! And how much is that? Where do you get these? Is this a thing? Really?
It's Japan.
Oh, for God out loud!
Planned Parenthood tweeted, "Labeling abortion as only women's rights or a woman's issue erases the experiences and identities of queer, non-binary, and trans folks who also have abortions, and downplays the additional barriers they face when accessing care. Abortion access affects us all. Period."
You know, I'm so tired of making up stuff and making up new philosophies. And, well, we all know that abortion is a thing. Just stop.
0.5% of the population. We're changing human history.
Lord.
The Babylon Bee said invitations to the Unabomber's funeral were mailed out but remain unopened.
Unopened. It just
nobody wants to come. 2 men who gang raped and killed a 12-year-old girl in Somalia were publicly executed by firing squad chosen by the girl's father, who then inspected the bodies to make sure they were dead.
And if I were the father, I would have made sure they shoot him in a certain place only.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
Stephen King, we always know he's creepy.
Yeah.
He's a little pedophile. He tweeted, "I don't care if Joe Biden hosts a child orgy at the White House. He's still got my vote."
What a dirtbag. 5 o'clock. Herp and Hope, Pete Sports, and all the rest are coming up with the... Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of blank, ready on your dog. Target. First squad to the rear. I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo mighty cold. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kiver 503 with Pete Davis and Flounder, and Shane is in the back of the dark there someplace on 106.3. Here's a phone number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Billion things going on. We'll update you on the top of the news. They're still looking for that little submarine. 5 people on board, the pilot and 4 tourists or victims, and it's been down there. I guess it was sent out this morning. I don't know the exact time, but apparently it was an hour and a half into its submerged mission, 12,000 feet down off of Cape Cod, I think it was. And it disappeared. They don't know where. There's no sound from it. There's no signals. It's gone or something.
Megalodon. What is it?
Megalodon. I was just going to say that.
Megalodon. Yeah. And they don't know what happened, and which to me is hard to believe. Apparently, the submarine.
I know what happened.
By the way, the ticket. I'm going to ask you here in a second. It's Open Gate is the company. It charges $250,000 for one of the 4 spots on the expedition to go see the wreckage of the Titanic from 1912. And it disappeared. And there are 5 people down there total, and they don't know what happened. There's no sign of them. This sub is supposed to be so high tech that if anything goes wrong, it floats to the surface. Well, obviously that's not true.
Yeah.
How could you have a thing like this, 12,000 feet? That's almost 3 miles under the water. I mean, my God.
Orcas. I think the orcas.
And how could they not have a? I mean, I don't know. I guess you could have a cable goes down 2.5. Yeah, they got cables.
Yeah.
So have some kind of floating thing or tracking on a boat up. I don't something.
How can they not find this
How could
thing?
you? I'd say I don't believe it. I can't believe it. With technology,
Sonar.
you can't find where it is.
We have submarines.
Go get them or what? I don't know. So anyway, they're down there, and that's a.
Can't we hire the whales to go look for them?
You would think the Navy trained the whales
and porpoises.
And porpoises. Also holding up a picture of the Al Jazeera.
Day of the Dolphin, remember that?
I do very much. The Al Jazeera Constipation has big color pictures of the Juneteenth celebration. Not anything on Father's Day because it's the largest black newspaper in America. Nothing on Father's Day. I guess they couldn't find examples. Anyway, on Juneteenth, all the pictures of the Juneteenth celebration stuff, not a guy anywhere. All girls.
Jeez,
a mother and a daughter.
They really
a mother
hate
and a friend.
men.
Two little sisters, mother and a daughter. No men. No Father's Day men, no Juneteenth men, no leadership men. Chicago had, 20 people shot in a Juneteenth celebration. No word in the press, no word in the media, no word for political leaders. Once again, there's not a single black leader in America that believes in the Martin Luther King Jr. philosophy of judge a person by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Every single Democratic leader does not believe that. Put another way, not one single Democrat leader believes that. Not one. Not one. And you know it, and they know it, and I know it, and they're just saying, well, we have to get equal. We have to be equal again. We have to get back to equity. Yeah, you need equity. Anyway, so we got that stuff going on. Now, we do some movie things. Also, this is important. We have Holy Crap at Sports coming up, and Animal Stories coming up, and I'm nervous about this whole idea. There is now a wagering company. Let me see if I can get the thing. Okay, there's now a company. After the Supreme Court ruled 5 years ago, that states can set up their own sports gambling rules. Okay? Your state can make its own gambling rules. Well, now there's a Special Olympics World Games website, betonline.ag. I've never seen that before. betonline.ag is a brand offering the first ever Special Olympic odds makers to bet on the results of the Special Olympics. I'm going to read a couple things here because I'm appalled, and maybe I'm way out of line. I think this is dreadful, but I'm not. I don't have a special child, so I don't. Although I will say this, one of the most pleasant and charming and wonderful and emotional experiences I ever had with a charity event. I used to do a lot of them all the time, every month or so. Some turned out. One of the most meaningful to me was a golf tournament for Down syndrome. And I'm telling you, if you can't feel the love and the decency and the honesty and the just nurturing and the just common sweetness of not only the young people or older people, whatever age they are, people who are suffering from Down syndrome, but the families and the organization. I mean, it's just love. It's just, I mean, it was overwhelming. I was really moved. I still am. I'm moved just thinking about it. But here's what bothers me about this. Let's see. New gambling. They're saying the new gambling markets are open. Operating globally in gaming for more than 25 years, known for setting the bar for creativity. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver wrote an op-ed in the New York Times several years ago about how gambling will help grow the NBA. Other sports associations as well. Betting online sportsbook manager Adam Burns says, quote, if there are 2 or more people engaged in a sanctioned competition, we want to offer odds on that, and Special Olympics is no different. For my money, I'd much rather watch and wager on the World Games where talented athletes are competing in real sports than some guy stuffing 60 hot dogs in his mouth. BetOnline.ag has odds listed for 12 different competitions across 6 Special Olympic sports. Here's what you can bet on now on Special Olympics competition: track and field, basketball, cycling, powerlifting, soccer, and swimming. You can wager on things such as which country will win the most combined gold medals for all the swimming events, for example, or individual champions for the men's and women's powerlifting, bench press discipline, things like that. Skimming across the odds, I didn't realize the United States women's swimming team was such a powerhouse, one guy said. Heavily favored to score gold. Paralympic wagering's been going on in Europe for a long time. We're a gaming company, provides entertainment products, so every goal behind our marketing strategies is to generate publicity not only for us, but also for the competition. By the way, there's been no official comment from the Special Olympics. Now, it's 5:10. I would love to hear from anybody who has a special needs child or husband or a person they know or care about. Are you okay with this? Is this fine or dandy?
It sounds like a hoax.
Well, I thought it was I thought it was Babylon Bee, and they wouldn't even do something like this.
No.
I don't know who
the Onion might.
The Onion might, but again, or somebody over in Britain on one of their satire papers. But I thought it was a satire piece. And again, I think this is appalling.
But some people will say, well, they want to be part of the mainstream and make it more mainstream. So how can you tell someone you can't?
You can't. As soon as I say that, then the other, we talked about this earlier today, then as soon as you say that, then maybe, obviously I don't have a child or a person in this circumstance, but maybe this is the way everybody says, well, you don't separate somebody if you have crutches in fourth grade, you don't put that kid in a special class, you make him part of the establishment. He has to be part of the community the same way Special Olympics is part of Olympic competition.
Betting is everything now.
That's right. Betting is everywhere.
Everywhere. It's going to be such a huge problem, and then you can't stop it. I'm not against it,
right.
But the NFL is already seeing trouble with it. Yeah. The NBA is seeing. I mean, it's
and again, I just think it's like. It just seems creepy to me. It just seems.
It does. It seems
creepy. But again, if you're a family and you're saying, well, this will be great because it gives our kid, the chance to feel like he's, somebody are betting that he'll win. But I don't know. I don't think they care about that. This is for gamblers. This isn't for the people. This doesn't make the kids feel any better that somebody bet on them.
So you'll have the touts or whatever who will be doing their research to find out who's the favorites and putting the odds on them.
Yeah.
Well,
did you get sleep last night? They go to the families and is he feeling good today? I mean, Special Olympics competition and training for it's probably a little different than your basic other Olympics. So how are you going to try to determine whether kid ate lunch today or he's going to school? I mean, the whole thing creeps me out.
The whole I'm not even going to say it. It's the whole thing about a handicap person. I mean,
I know it's not right. It's wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, if you have a comment, we'd love to hear it. But again, the whole thing just freaking.
Are we
being
just stupid about this?
No, I'm probably being stupid. I apologize if I am.
I don't think so. I think you're being right.
Well, I only can give you my opinion, and I have nothing to base it on other than my life and my experiences. All right, 5:13. Coming up, the movies are after the trannies again, and also more on the so-called Juneteenth. And we will also have after the women again, going after Casey DeSantis. Holy Crap at Sports Show is next, and your calls and all the stuff coming up with a Kimber 5:13 on 106.3. Right here you go. 518. Hold everything. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder and Shane at the controls. Now we got Holy Crap at Sports in a second. First of all, we were talking just a moment ago about the the betting program. You can now lay wagers, make bets on the competition in Special Olympics, which to me is just really creepy, but I don't know whether I'm way out of line here or not. We have on the phone a gentleman named Jeff. Jeff, welcome aboard. I think Shane said that you may have some insight into this issue that will help me understand whether I'm being creepy or not, or whether I'm upset about this. Can you tell us what your situation is and how you feel about it, sir?
Yes, sir. I've got a 15-year-old daughter with Down syndrome, and that betting doesn't affect me at all. In fact, I think it may be good just to have more people rooting for them if they put money on them.
Well, now again, that may be. If you're being serious, it
doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. Well, now
people bet on anything.
Yeah.
There's enough stuff to be worried about in life. That's not one of them.
Jeff, good point. Well, God bless you, my friend. You were chosen special, and you're obviously a special guy, and we appreciate your calling in for us today, too. Thanks, man, and best of luck with you and your daughter. I appreciate that very much. Okay, like you said, there's a lot of... Fine, no problem. All right, a little thing. A couple of birthdays include Dirk Nowitzki, 45, power forward who was the first European-born player to ever win the NBA award, MVP award. Dirk Nowitzki. Jacob deGrom, 34 years old today. Is he still hurt?
Who?
And now, Holy Crap at Sports and Pete Davis.
Who did you say?
Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, he's out. He's kind of Tommy John.
34.
Yeah, he's out
and,
for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe forever, unfortunately.
Oh, my.
Let's see. Michael Harris II gave his father a Father's Day to remember yesterday.
Oh, he
First,
did.
Senior got to throw out the first pitch before the Braves spanking of the Rockies. He got that gig after the team had to designate for assignment Charlie Culberson to make room for another catcher. Unfortunately, that meant DFAing Daddy Culberson, too.
Yeah,
he was scheduled to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah, and they had to say, sorry, your son just got cut to the...
But Sean Murphy's hurt. They need another catcher to bring up, so Sean's day-to-day.
But he's not going on the DL, which is good
yet.
news.
IL.
Yeah. Well, IL, yeah.
Showing your age there, baby.
Well, that's the other thing. It's a disabled list. Of course, now you can't say disabled.
Injured list.
Yeah, now
that's
it used to be disabled.
Right.
That's what it was. You are unable to do your job.
Well, you should be able to bet on that. They wouldn't be able to say that.
Thank you very much.
All Harris did was go 5 for 5 with this monstrous home run. I said this monstrous home run.
He hit a ball so hard.
Swung on, belted.
Oh, ow.
Deep right field. Gone. Home run, Michael Harris.
Did you see it?
Another three-run homer.
It was, for the second he hit it, you're like, oh, my God. It's gone.
Well, hell, what's his name? Hit one 478 feet or something.
Yeah, Darno.
Holy moly.
You don't expect him
How
to
can
do that?
Darno hit a ball that far?
Well, see, he swings the bat. And
I know. But again, have you ever hit a ball over a home run, a big
I've never hit one 470 feet.
Holy moly.
God, the best one I hit the last time I played, I thought was gone in a heartbeat, and the guy chased it down in right center. I'm like, you son of a...
Well, I only hit one home run in my life over a big league fence, and that was at Wrigley Field in batting practice.
Let me write that down.
There we go.
And a Wrigley Field story.
And it cleared by about 4 inches. It was not bouncing down Waveland Avenue, I can promise you that.
How do I take Michael Harris's home run and turn it around?
About the Kimmer.
Okay.
This is all I get in my life, I don't even have a horse to talk about anymore, okay? This is it for me.
He said horse.
I got no wife. I got no girlfriend. I got no horse to play with.
Horse.
This is it for me.
He said. Harris, the first Brave since 1900 with a 5-hit game out of the number 9 spot in the lineup.
Since 1900?
That'd be 123 years.
Holy moly. They keep track of that?
Somebody does.
How do they keep track of that? Somebody who took scorecards a hand done in 1900?
Somebody does that.
That can't be true.
Yeah. Sarah Langs does stuff like she's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
AI can do it for you.
Well, we need more AI.
The Bravos outscored Colorado 40-12 in the 4-game series.
No.
They spotted him 5 runs yesterday.
That's right.
Ronald Acuna Jr. only went 2 for 13 with 5 walks and no extra base hits, and they still scored 40 runs.
Yeah, boy.
Let's see. What did I write here? Oh, by the way, I'm in love.
Oh.
Okay, I have a hard time concentrating on the Braves games for two reasons.
All right, then.
One, there's one of the waitresses, I don't know what they call them, the girls that come out from the behind home plate and they serve the people.
About at the ballpark?
Yeah, at the ballpark.
Yeah, down in the more club section.
In the club
area.
section,
Yes.
the elite section.
Yeah.
There is one little blonde that comes out with this perfect 1960s tapered haircut. Shut up.
Look, see what I mean?
And she's
little,
just
she's
perfect.
little means sexy and attractive. Yeah, go ahead. All right.
So anyway, every time she comes out, I stop watching the play and just watch her walk around serving. And at one point yesterday, she was sitting down and they did a close-up on her for some reason. And it was like, oh, my gosh, she's just gorgeous.
Well, you're the stalker, not me at Publix.
Well, I'm not stalking. I'm just watching on television. And then they put Lauren Jabbar up there, who's the sideline reporter.
Yeah.
She's
pretty easy on
She's Miss America.
On the eyes. Yeah, she's a lovely
and
girl.
What a great job she is. So I'm like, every time they do both, even those women show up, the game's gone.
Okay, all right, boys. We got to get girlfriends. Flounder started without us.
Yeah, Flounder. Yeah, he's on top of
I got a feeling
things.
I'm doomed, but
for the longest time he was
chance.
by himself. Well, I don't know. I'm wearing boxers. Maybe I don't have a chance anymore.
Flounder's all sad. You have a chance, and it's over for me.
Ladies, seriously, ladies, we want to know what age group you're in. We don't need to know your age, but what do you prefer, boxers or briefs? Because frankly, I don't know anymore.
Why would they care? Now it's more the boxer briefs.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination. You're right,
and that's what I wear, and they're great.
Well, I find them constricting. Maybe you don't.
It takes a minute. I mean, but again,
but I don't like
when you're working out or exercising or stuff like that.
Well, that makes sense. If you're doing the working out thing, that makes sense because they're a little more rigid and more supportive, and
you know,
like wearing a
you don't want things hanging around and stuff like that.
All right, keep moving. The College World Series in Omaha is on, and that means the Jell-O Shot Challenge at Rocco's Bar. So far, Virginia is dead last with only 566 shots as of yesterday. Who's winning? LSU, of course, because Ole Miss isn't there this year. Or Arkansas. LSU is winning. The Bayou Bengals fans have slurped down 11,948 tasty, fluid Jell-O shots.
And this is at one guy's place?
At one guy's bar. They have a big thing. They do it every year.
I know. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss won it last year and Arkansas the year before. Speaking of college and alcohol consumption, the University of Kentucky says it will now sell alcohol at their home football games this autumn.
University of Kentucky?
Yeah. Longtime Wildcat football fans wish they'd started selling booze right after Bear Bryant left in the 1950s.
There you go.
Would have made the last 6 decades almost bearable.
Well, there you are.
And did you know?
I did know. Yeah.
Brent and Wayne Gretzky hold the NHL record for most combined points by two brothers.
Well, it's all Wayne.
Wayne at 2,857. Brent had...
4. Did he?
He's 4.
At least he didn't have 0. I mean,
between the two of us.
But you know what? It's like Hank Aaron and Tommy Aaron.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Think about that. The U.S. Open yesterday was won by a guy whose parents decided to name him after a motel chain. Wyndham Clark. Who named Bob Marriott? You know what?
I know. Well, whatever.
Wyndham.
Yeah, that's a great story, though. The kid is a great story.
Good for him. And he was 1 shot ahead for like the last 8 holes, and it kept screwing up and still won. So good for him.
Amazing story. But his mom died when he was young, and she got him into playing golf, and then she died from breast cancer. He was a kid, and his father's a tennis jock, a pro, so he's got athletes in the. But again, and I think. Who's the skinny kid? Wears all the orange clothes.
Winston Churchill.
No. The golfer was going to win, and then he didn't. He had a bad round.
Ricky Fowler?
No, Ricky Fowler was walking with him down the 18th fairway. They were timed together, and he said to him, you know, your mom's watching right now. You know she's doing well.
He did that to throw him off.
Well, no, and they hugged each. I mean, they were. He was crying. It was very emotional, and they did it together. But the kid held himself together until that. His final putt was like 4 inches, and he marked it when done. And then, boom, and he just lost it.
And his family came out.
Oh, wow. I mean, when they started hugging and kissing him and his wife and his sister and brothers who lost their mom, oh, God, wow. I mean, I was really, really, really touched. It was
Answer me this, Rule Man.
Yeah.
What the heck does that P on Ricky's orange cap stand for? What does the P stand for?
That's Puma.
Is it Puma?
I think it's the brand name Puma. That's what he represents.
That's one of his sponsors because he wears Puma shoes and the belt as well.
And his orange thing is from
Oklahoma State.
Which
is where Wyndham went to before he transferred to Oregon because of Mama.
Yeah, that's right.
It's got. By the way, they got to do something with AI to get rid of the blimp drone noise. It bugged.
Yeah, I love the video.
Time.
I love the new modern
video. But they
video.
got to get rid of that drone sound.
Yeah,
it just drives me crazy. Yeah. And at one point, I don't know which one of the golf analysts said this. They're talking about Nagano, the Japanese golfer.
Oh God! Yeah.
He said he got into the Open he went to the Jap qualifier and he went Japan qualifier, Japanese qualifier. And then so I'm watching this and Rory kept screwing up. And at one point I had just asked Alexa something, so Alexa's still listening. And Roy hit this putt that he missed. It was a 4-foot putt. He missed it, and I went, "What the blank?" out loud. And this is what Alexa goes. Listen, if you have feedback, all you got to do is say something. I'm like, I'm sorry you had to hear that one.
Oh, boy. Oh, I love it. 528. A couple more things here, Pete, that I know you're aware of this, too. It was on this day in 1984, the Chicago Bulls picked Michael Jordan from the University of North Carolina, third in the NBA draft, 1984. Third. All right, number 3. Another one. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this backwards. Michael Jordan, University, was number 3. A guy, this history note guy says, a guy you've never heard of named Sam Bowie was chosen by the Portland Trail Blazers, number 2.
He was injured a lot.
And number 3 was Houston Rockets. Oh, no, I beg your pardon. Number 2 was Michael Jordan. Number 1, Hakeem Olajuwon, Houston Rockets.
That was a good choice.
In the same draft. This is 1984. And so we got Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Sam Bowie, and Charles Barkley was selected 5th by the 76ers. John Stockton went 16th to the Jazz.
Yeah.
And one more basketball thing, unfortunately. This is why I never did cocaine.
That movie Air talks about who they were going to choose. It's very interesting how they talked about the players back then.
And on this day in 1986, Len Bias, University of Maryland basketball star, second pick of the draft 2 days earlier, died from a cocaine overdose, which they say was the first time he ever did it.
And kind of ended the Celtics run.
They were celebrating, you're going to be a star. And they said, let's do a little coke. And he died right there.
They're going to pair him with Bird there.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's why I never did coke. That's why, I was scared. Anyway, 5:30, we're late. Have it, hope. More coming up. Hold on. Look out. Rock and roll, baby. Playing the hits. Martha and the Vandellas, 1964. Look out. Yeah, baby. Yeah, talk right up to the music.
I hate that.
You had no choice back in the day. You were required to talk right up to the exact second. Everything was back timed. And people don't know the old days. You had to go ring wrong, like they do in disco play. Yeah, scratching. What do they call it? Well, it wasn't scratching. It was anyway. Whatever. Martha and the Vandellas. You can keep playing background. This day, 1964, Martha and the Vandellas recorded "Dancing in the Street" in Detroit, Michigan, written by Marvin Gaye and a couple of buddies, reached number 2 on the Hot Chart, number 4 in Britain. Other folks have covered the song, Mamas and the Papas, David Bowie and Mick Jagger, the Kinks, Grateful Dead, one. Little Richard. Yeah, Dancing in the Street. But this is the classic version.
No, Bowie Jagger's better.
Oh, please. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Van Halen did a good version.
Van Halen did a great version.
All right, they did. I will admit that's a good version. But the only one that counts is Martha and the Vandellas. My God, man. Oh, you people. By the way, a couple of birthdays. Felicia Rashad is 75 today. Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. Her first husband was Victor Willis, the original cop from The Village People. And her latest other one was Ahmad Rashad, the football player, and I remember him proposing to her on television at the Monday Night Football, wasn't it? Or was it a Sunday game? I don't remember.
It was a Sunday game.
But anyway, he was on, and he looked scared to death, and he was shaking and sweating, and he asked her right there on TV, and I think she laughed and said, yeah, whatever. But anyway, next time you ask a girl to marry you. And one more, I don't care. Okay, now, Okay. Oh, wait to hear this. If you didn't hear, you're going to talk about Joe Rogan in a second. Also, if you missed the soundbite of "Walk Like a Biden," the new Bangles song, you're going to hear that. Also, the Podium Princess bragging about herself, and we got a couple other stuff if you haven't heard it earlier in the show. During a recent appearance on the Sunday Show, Democrat delegate named Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands made an unexpected statement that raised some eyebrows on the Sunday Show, discussing the security concerns surrounding former President Donald Trump. This Democrat delegate named Stacey Plaskett had this to say.
Having Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort. With anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
He needs to be shot.
She meant it.
She meant it.
Yeah.
He needs to be stopped.
He needs to be shot. Stopped by being shot.
Yep.
She didn't make a mistake.
Nope. Not a bit.
MSNBC. Do you think they corrected her and said, oh, you shouldn't say that? We apologize, ladies and gentlemen? Please.
James Woods tweeted, says, we're now at the point where they're basically wanting to assassinate one of the candidates, and no one blinks an eye.
Yeah. Well, let's not. By the way, this Plaskett chick served as the impeachment manager during Donald Trump's impeachment trial. And she hates everything MAGA and everything Republicans and so forth. She claims that her concerns about MAGA Republicans are a perceived threat to the rule of law and will damage and actually upend the legal framework of our country. I mean, my God, that's exactly the opposite.
Yep.
It's
Democrat.
Exactly the opposite.
She should have burst into flames as a Democrat to talk about rule of law.
God.
It's rule of man. It's like he's constipated.
Why he sounds like that on purpose. I don't know why. Now, Joe Rogan's, and speaking of controversial stuff, Pete Davis
yes, sir.
Is more attuned with this latest on the Joe Rogan thing. But again, he's trying to get people to be honest and come forward and say, well, just, if you were wrong, admit it. Let's all be honest about this thing. But if you're still, obfuscating and denying and deliberately trying to deceive, we're not going to get anywhere.
We all know the vaccine thing and what went down with it, and that a lot of people were lied to. Most of us, all of us were lied to about it, right? Well, there's a couple of guys that are mad because RFK Jr. was on Joe Rogan, and he's talking about the vaccine and everything. Not all vaccines, but that vaccine. And basically it didn't work, and a lot of people got hurt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So a couple of people have come out screaming and hollering, and Joe Rogan says, well, come on my show. I'll give you $100,000 to your charity. Just come on and debate him. If they're spreading misinformation and disinformation, misinformation,
Clear it up.
Then come in here. Let's clear it up.
Open it up, baby.
Let's debate it.
Sunshine. Here we go.
But if they don't like it, they just call it misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one of the guys' name is Tom Nichols. Here's how he describes himself on Twitter. Staff writer at The Atlantic, which is a liberal rag sheet.
Yeah.
Curmudgeon, cat guy, democracy enthusiast, defender of experts. That's the new thing now. If you debate, if you say anything that their doctors or scientists don't like, you're against the experts.
Yeah.
It's science, you know.
Anti-science, yeah,
anti-science and all that stuff. He said, I would have a blue check. I would have paid more for a better Twitter if I was going to get a blue check. So he's just going to complain about everything. And he's a cat guy. Well, anyway. So here's what Tom Nichols said. Joe Rogan said, I'm going to ask you very clearly, are you willing to debate Robert Kennedy Jr. on my podcast? And Tom Nichols replied, no medical pro should ever agree to do this. Never. It elevates the conspiracy guy, demeans the medical professional, and will only convince the kooks out there that RFK is right because a real doctor took the time to debate him. Never debate a conspiracy theorist. Well, here's what Joe Rogan responded to him. That would be a great suggestion if you could assure that the industry you are representing wasn't completely captured by heartless monsters who have a history of some of the biggest criminal fines in human history.
True.
Because their deception has cost hundreds of thousands of people their lives. It would be a great suggestion if the industry you were defending didn't occasionally look at human beings as an opportunity to generate insane wealth, regardless of the tragic consequences. But you can't do that, so maybe it would be a good idea to have a effing debate.
You know,
not to mention you're going to go on the biggest podcast platform there
is. Yeah. What they've done, if we keep talking about the accused, the other side of doing what they're actually doing themselves to deflect the guilt of it. What they've actually done is reversed the old saw that never mud wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. They've changed that around now.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden the exact opposite.
Our experts have said something, and you can't question it.
It's unbelievable.
We will ban and censor you if you dare even question, which is against every scientific method ever taught.
And the guy was saying, I will never mud wrestle with you because it just gives you status. In other words, they're afraid. He's saying, well, I'm so much better than you are. I'm not even going to give you the platform opportunity. So they're eliminating the possibility that you would even be.
That would work on most people.
Yeah.
But I got to tell this Tom Nichols guy that more people have heard of Robert Kennedy Jr. than they've heard of him.
Exactly. And by the way, I think Robert Kennedy Jr. is about to make I'll bet in the next 3 or 4 months, I'll bet something really astounding is going to. Did you see the poll? In fact, they said it wasn't a really scientific poll of potential voters, but they did. Somebody did a poll. I forgot who it was. It did a poll, and it showed whether you like a candidate, and it showed that Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden.
Yeah, they were talking earlier in the earlier show. There's 2 polls saying he's ahead of him.
Now, it's not, it may not be the side. And again, it's early and nobody knows. But still, the fact that they're even linking it. And you saw the guy on ABC, the commentator said, oh, man, I can't believe that Donald Trump is so close to Joe Biden. He's losing by 4 points. That's statistically insignificant. That's basically 50-50. And the ABC commentator had to admit it, saying, well, it looks bad for Biden. So, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I still think he's not going to be the nominee. I've said that for 2 years.
If this country elects a walking corpse over anybody else, then we are in such trouble.
Yeah. And if you haven't heard the song, Walk Like a Biden, and if you haven't, honestly, if you haven't seen him, the president showers with daughter, walk, it looks like he's a skeleton. And he's like an erector set mechanical joints.
A marionette.
It looks like a puppet. He has to move one joint at a time to get the knee to work with the ankle or something. It's depressing.
It makes me think about walking when you usually don't think about walking.
You can't look at the man walking across a tarmac and say, this is our president.
He needs the AI shoes.
Oh, my God. Oh, man, I want to get a pair of those. 5:45. I can't believe it. Coming up, more sound and happiness. Look out. Here we go. That's all right. Yeah, baby. You can't call them big girls anymore. I'm sorry. Tommy DeVito can call them what he wants. By the way, Tommy DeVito was born on this day in 1928. Tommy DeVito from the band The Four Seasons had the singles hit Big Girls Don't Cry, Sherry, Walk Like a Man, all of them. December, Oh What a Night, all those great songs. They are one of the best-selling musical groups of all time, having sold an estimated 100 million records. Tommy DeVito was born on this day in 1928. He died in 2020 at the age of 92 after he got the disease, the China virus disease. It is 5:52, and now a little thing from Marlon Perkins and his buddies down.
The animal.
They're down by the river there.
Yeah.
Well, right up. Here we go. Hello, I'm Marlon Perkins, and I'll be down here by River Kimiguchi while Jim wrestles the angry alligator with Pete Davis.
I've got an answer for this missing sub.
Oh, what do we do to find a missing sub? It's down 12,000 feet down. They can't find it.
Why haven't they called Captain Claude Justeau to show up with a calypso?
Well, I put him on alert the other day.
Claude? All right, you want to do the bear first?
Well,
or
sure.
You do the fish first?
Well, I'll do the fish. I'll do the fish first. Okay, I don't know where you heard about this. This is incredible. There are rules to big fishing tournaments, including the Big Rock Marlin tournament in North Carolina. Ended in controversy because a boat called the Sensation and a crew caught a whopping marlin more than 600 pounds. It was determined that the blue marlin is disqualified because it was mutilated a little bit. Something had taken a bite out of the marlin as it was being reeled in. Apparently, might have happened before they reeled him in. The captain of the crew said they fought this marlin for 6 hours, the final hour of the final day, to win the tournament. They not only would have won the tournament for the $3 million prize, $3 million prize money, they would have won an additional $739,000 for having a fish more than 500 pounds in the catch of the year of the tournament. Unfortunately, the rules say the fish must be completely intact and would not be allowed to be official fish if it had anything taken away from it, if it had been eaten on the way or cut up or anything else for some reason. And it was just they showed a picture, it was just a small bite out of part of the 600-pound marlin, apparently from a shark or something on the way hauling in, and they disqualified the guy from his $3.5 million prize money.
That's bogus, man. That's bogus. He didn't do that. The shark did it.
The final hour of the final day, fought him for 6 hours and lost $3.5 million.
That's wrong.
Oh,
that's just wrong, man.
It's wrong. He's got to sue.
It's not cheating. He didn't do anything wrong.
That's the rules of the tournament.
No, that's a stupid.
That's stupid.
All right. Massive bear breaks into Colorado home looking for more than just porridge.
Yes.
By the way, have you seen the video of it? He's dangling outside of a second story. Yeah. And I'm sitting there.
The bear hanging onto the
second story window.
Yeah.
And Flounder goes, well, they show him all the time falling out of trees. I said, yeah, not on concrete. They don't.
Yeah. So
you see the bear's thinking. Yeah. He's like Yogi. He's thinking.
What do I do? He looks down.
Which way do I go? And he thinks if I fall, this is going to really hurt. So he drags himself back in to the second story window. It was absolutely amazing there. He had gone through the house and gone out the second story window before he realized his mistake. And it accidentally locked the door behind him in the master bedroom. Yeah. So that's what it was. So he comes out. The neighbors saw this and called the police. The police show up. After several attempts to get the bear to drop to the ground, he said, no, I'm not. I'm going to call her back into the bedroom. Okay, the officer had... Talk about this job. The officer had to go upstairs and open up that door.
Knowing there's an angry bear in there.
A hungry, angry bear on the other side, and then run. The beast went back downstairs, slipped out the first floor window it had originally entered, and then walked away into the woods. The homeowner, Ryan McFarland, was at work, and someone said, hey, there's a bear in your house. So he got in the car and drove home. That's a good call you want to get. He got that's what the bear did. He got his nails into the window, ripped the window right open. It's just what I'm thinking of where I live now. A bear could come through there like nothing.
Absolutely.
He got inside. He helped himself to my pork chops I had out for dinner.
Oh, boy.
And got some snacks out of the pantry and knocked over the plants. Like on the way, I go, I don't like that plant there, Kick.
Can't eat that.
And knocked it over.
Way.
And he goes, it's nothing too crazy. He just took the pork chops.
And this was where? Colorado?
Colorado.
Oh, man.
But the video of that bear hanging out that window going, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it's like not exactly the Roadrunner cartoon. It's 5:56. Flounder, again, we mentioned President showers with daughter. If you haven't seen him walk lately, honestly, give yourself a treat. And in fact, it's become so ridiculous that now the unofficial Bangles famous singing group has come out with a new song to celebrate your president.
The American president is doomed. A little old man can barely move. If he moves too quick, he'll topple just like a domino. He's got that sinister smile and thinks he just might win the bet. But he's just hanging on. Dangling like Hunt a cigarette. On the tights with the hookah pipe said. Walk like a Joe Biden.
I mean, it's really pathetic. I feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for him. He should have been kicked out of office. Never should have been elected. I mean, on and on. Anyway, by the way, they're still going after the girls. The Democrats are still going after the people they hate, women. Daily Beast op-ed now is labeled Florida's First Lady as Walmart Melania Trump earlier this month. And now the Washington Post has a story about her relationship with her husband, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. They call her one of the most guarded and feared partners in politics. They call the couple's marriage insular, describing their relationship as an inner circle of two and deeply private. The level of prominence and power they achieved in Tallahassee seems to insulate their world further, creating a level of distance between Ron and Casey and everyone else. They were actually closed off. You're chasing a ghost. My God, they won't leave her alone.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what's the possible explanation for why? But first of all, of course she's her husband's wife, so of course they're a couple. You know, I mean, she's not some bubblehead, game show host or something. Of course they're insular together. Oh, that was just incredible. They earlier called her Lady Macbeth, describing her defending other political spouses like Giselle Fetterman. And by the way, speaking of, and Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, speaking of Fetterman, have you heard this lady? I think we got time to get this done. Fetterman introducing the President of the United States, ladies.
And now I'm standing next to the President again, next to a collapsed bridge here.
Friend.
And he is here to commit to work with the governor and the delegation to make sure that we get this fixed quick. Fast as well too. This is a president that is committed to infrastructure. And then on top of that, the jewel, kind of
the thing there. I mean, I can't. This is unbelievable.
It's so pathetic.
My God, man. All right. Anyway, happy Monday. God bless America. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we do it all over again. Well, assuming you let us. Anyway. Oh, God, you're killing me. Look out. Herp, Hup, Pete, Flounder. Look out. Shane.